We know that shopping online can be a confusing and sometimes daunting task, and sometimes all you want to do is talk to a human being. Well, our family-run customer service team are on call 24/7. They're full of friendly, warm-hearted individuals, all trained to make your shopping experience as easy and as enjoyable as possible. And not only will they take your order, they will also help and guide you on your shopping journey, so you never miss out.
If you're a Sewing Street or Yarn Lane customer, no matter how many times you check out in one day, you will only pay one postage and packaging. So don't wait to add the item you want to your basket and check out. You will only pay one P&P even if you check out multiple times in one day. Have you heard about all of the different ways you can shop with Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? You can either shop on our websites, sewingstreet.com and yarnlane.com. You can also order by phone by calling our friendly UK customer service team. For Sewing Street, call 0800 001 4433, and for Yarn Lane, call 0800 4700 600. And don't forget about the Sewing Street app. Here you can shop all of the Sewing Street products as well as watch the live shows from anywhere. You can download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet by simply searching Sewing Street in your app store. And one final thing, no matter how many times you check out on Sewing Street or Yarn Lane in one day, you will only pay one postage and packaging. Happy shopping!
In need of a crafting fix? There are so many ways you can watch Sewing Street and Yarn Lane. Sewing Street is live from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day on Freeview 72 and Sky 670. Alternatively, if you want to watch us on a tablet or on the move, you can tune in on our YouTube channel, the Sewing Street app, or the websites at www.sewingstreet.com and www.yarnlane.com. You can watch past shows on Sky 670 from 1 p.m. every day, as well as our YouTube channel, the app, and our website. Yarn Lane is on from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Visit our programme guide to find out when and what's on. So you never have to spend a minute without us.
Good morning and welcome to Sewing Street on this glorious Monday morning. Well, it's not that glorious, but it might be. I've listened to the weather report and I'm sure, well, I was a bit distracted, but it sounded like we've got a heat wave coming up, which I'm quite excited by. Anyway, I've had a whole week off. Lovely week away. I went up to the Shetland Islands. If you've never been there, you need to. It's amazing. Made my husband go into lots and lots of knitting shops, bought a Fair Isle jumper, looked at sheep, Shetland ponies, had a lovely time. So I'm back all invigorated. Great that we've got brand new garments on Yarn Lane today to make me think of the Shetlands, wool and knitting. And we've got a real treat for you in store on Sewing Street today. We've got Jude Edmondson in, our guest, and she's got two fantastic projects for you. And we've got some lovely, starting off today with some fat quarter bundles and pre-cuts. So it's all good, all good. And it all kicks off with the most amazing early bird. I came in this morning and Kat was laying it all out. I was like, oh my God, all of that in the early bird. Actually, really quite wanted myself. So we had a lot of fun this morning going through all the colourways and we put them all in colour order. I felt like I was in a shop. Although, to be fair, most of the time on Sewing Street, you feel like you're in a shop. My own shop, if only I could take it away with me. So we have got a fat quarter, 67 of them. 67 of all of the colours we do. So we sorted them out. There are the reds, and then we have the purples and the blues. Now look at all these blues. Look at all of those. You've got turquoise all the way through to darks and sky blues and sea blues and pale blues. Then we have the greens. I mean, there's so many, I can't even get them. I'll have to move them over so I can get them all on the screen. There's the greens. Look at all those. Then we have the pinks. The pinks has their own section. There's so many of them. Then we've got the yellows and creams, obviously. And, you know, it's not just one yellow, because you've got the creamy ones. You've got 3 different shades of yellow then. When do you ever get to see those many? Then we have the browns, including the lovely natural seeded one as well. I really like that one. And the creams. And then we've got all the blacks and whites and greys as well. I think I can just about get them all in there. Look at that. Anyway, we have in this bundle 67 fat quarters. Wow. They are all really, really top quality, 100% cotton fabric. Mega bundle. Now, you are going to save £16.92. Massive saving. £16.92. So the price to you today for 67 fat quarters is only $99.99. Now, luckily, that means that you, if you want to, can buy it on split pay. If you've never used split pay before, the way it works is you choose whether you want it or not. You can pay it all up front, but if you want to do it, you get charged $49.99 today, and we send it out. You haven't got to wait. And then in another month's time, we will take the other $49.99 out of your bank account. It is interest free, so it's not costing you any more. We just do it because we had so many requests from people who want to be able to split their purchases over a few months. So because $99.99 is considered purchase, despite the fact, I mean, it is an amazing saving. Wow, you are only paying £1.49 per fat quarter. So that's an amazing saving. So if you don't want to do split pay and you just want to pay up front, that's up to you. But if you do it, remember it's for two payments, equal payments, $49.99, and you will get sent it straight away. You haven't got to wait. But I just think of all the fantastic things you can make from that, or just a wonderful thing to have in your stash, so that when you're doing something, maybe you're doing some applique and you need exactly the right shade of red. Look at all the reds we have here when you want just the right shade, or you're doing some sea blue designs and you think, oh, have I got the right shade of turquoise? Yes, there it is. Oh, no, I want it a little bit darker. So to have that in your stash, whether you're, or maybe you think, well, I'm going to just make a whole rainbow quilt. Whole sort of half square triangle rainbow quilt from this would be wonderful. Or maybe you do lots of embroidery, to have all of these as your base colours, because you've got from bright white all the way up to sort of creams and neutrals and greys. The plain colours are lovely for neutral embroidery as well, or you want to use it for binding or sashes or borders. You know that you have got one of every colour. And if you love one of them and you want more, we do sell them all by the half metre as well. So even better, you could even then get more of it. So what a fantastic purchase. We have some reviews of the fat quarters as well. Fantastic array of colours in such good quality, beautiful fabric, a wonderful offer. Thank you, Sarah. It is. I mean, it is beautiful quality fabric because it is our sort of basic plain fabric range. But because we sell so much of it, we didn't want to buy, sort of cheap value fabric. It really is good quality quilting weight fabric, 44-inch width of the full, if it's full half metre. So your fat quarter is sort of 22 by 20 inches, around about that. But, even at the full price, it sells really well. So it's amazing. I'm amazed that we have been allowed to take off that much, because sometimes we do it where it's 67 and you get one free, but we've done £16.92 saving. Fantastic quality. There are so many in there, I can't even get them all in. But if you want, maybe you wanted to, brilliant for like little Christmas presents. Say you wanted to give somebody a little fat quarter bundle, someone has just started sewing, or someone who loves sewing and you think, oh, I never know what to get them. You could split this all, keep the ones you like, give some others away. Great for making little gifts. With one fat quarter you can make look at this, one fat quarter. That's your cushion front, isn't it? And a bit more besides. Front of a tote bag, 2 fat quarters, you've got a tote bag. So, and you are getting 67 of those. It's amazing. Amazing value. So please do put these in your basket and check out. Because we have got a limited number of these bundles. So we have got less than 50 of these left now. We had a lot more than that. Lots and lots of them have gone on pre-order because we have cut these all specially. It is limited to how many we have because we have to get the warehouse to pre-cut them and we only have so much stock in. So if you've been thinking about, shall I buy it, shall I not? This is the best price that we have ever sold them at. In total, 16.75 metres. That's mad. 16.75 metres for £99.99, and you can split pay if you want to. What an amazing value. And just look at all the colours. I love this. I mean, even this one here, you think, oh, that's a really light one. That's actually a really, really pale pink. So you've got the whole range here. You could spend as much time as we did putting it all into colour order. Imagine what this will look like on your fabric shelves. Beautiful, all laid out. You barely want to use them, but it is very difficult sometimes to find the right shade. And also when you're trying to match something, maybe a print fabric to a plain, and unless you're in the shop and you've got it with you and that shop has this array of colours, you can never get quite the right colour, particularly things like reds. And we have of just the sort of mid-range red, we've got 5 shades. That's just of the mid, let alone the 2 darker ones. And remember, they're quilting weight. They're not your sort of cheap value, quite stiff cotton. These are beautiful quilting weight cotton. This is the cotton fabric that we use all the time. Beautiful drape to it. Rose and Hubble fabric. I mean, it is beautiful quality. So we've tried to find a price comparison, but we can't find anybody else who does all of these. Because most people will do like a 20 piece. But I guess because we have our warehouse and we have all the fabric there, we can cut it to however we want and buy in what we want. But obviously we had to get the warehouse to cut all of these in advance, because when we have it delivered, it all comes on big rolls or bolts. So we've cut all of ours in beforehand, and it does take quite a lot of time, because if you normally, our warehouse are cutting to 1/2 metre. When they have to cut to fat quarter, that's another cut. It takes a lot longer. But we've built that all in. So 67 fat quarters for only £99.99. What a fantastic bargain. And if you do want to do split pay, when you put it in your basket and you go through to checkout, at that point you can choose whether you want to buy it all in one go. But it is a wonderful purchase. It's great for all your sewing projects, because you have, I mean, I was amazed when we saw them all. Well, because I came in and I thought, well, normally the early birds on the desks to have a look at. And I thought, all of that? I thought we had maybe 5 of them and we were doing different bundles, but all of it. So we have never done this saving for you before. Flabbergasted I was, as little Paul says. Flabbergasted. But please, if you put it in your basket, remember to check out. Now, also remember that the P&P is, as always, £3.95 per day. Doesn't matter how much you buy. So if you just buy this, well, obviously that's, you know, your savings in there already. So you are only paying £3.95, which, you know, if you had to pay for the postage on this, if I was going to put it in the post to you, it would cost substantially more than that. But you can check out now. And then if you anything else you buy throughout the day up till midnight, and that includes Yarn Lane. So if you want to buy one of the beautiful new knitwear kits that I'm going to be showing you at 12 o'clock, that includes Yarn Lane too. It is only £3.95, but you must check out. If you put it in your basket, someone else can have it. It's weird that, but you need to check out. But don't worry, there are some places where you check out and then you have to pay your postage again, and then you have to email them and say, oh, can I not do that? But with us, no. Anything you buy between now and midnight, it is just one P&P of £3.95. So we've got a message from Colleen. Good morning, Rebecca. So glad you love the Shetland Islands. It's a lovely place to visit and to live. Best regards, Colleen from Walls in Shetland. Oh, you lucky you. I know where that is. Been there. Went there. Lucky you, Colleen. I was there for, 5 days. I spent 5 days trying to persuade my husband we need to emigrate and move there. And he was going, well, do you think it's a bit remote? I went, yes, and that's the point. That is the point. He goes, well, what do you think it's like in the winter? Lovely. Lovely. So, Colin, lucky you. What a wonderful place to live. And do you know what? The sun shone every day as well. Rained one evening. Gorgeous. Right, anyway, we've got lots and lots of exciting things coming up for you today. Please keep checking out. We have got less than 50 left, as I said. So if you want this fantastic offer, you need to check out now. Right, so coming up today on Sewing Street, we have now, 8 o'clock, perfect pre-cuts. Loads and loads and loads of different pre-cuts and bundles for you to choose from. Then at 9, Jude Edmondson is here with the What's the Weather Today wall hanging. What is the weather today? There wasn't one that said slightly drizzly and a bit grey. But the better weather is coming. So that's, Judy's going to show us. We've got 2 different colourways for you. These gorgeous wall hangers. They're brilliant. children's rooms, schools, all sorts of things, but she's going to show us how to make that really quick and easy. 10 o'clock sewing room must have lots and lots of really cool tools and gadgets, things that you really want. Well, actually, lots of things that I want. So that's going to be a lovely hour. 11 o'clock, Jude is back with us, Fun with Fat Quarter. So she's going to demonstrate how to make 3 different projects from some Fat Quarter books. There's one of them. Gorgeous doorstop. I love all the buttons and the pom-poms and the lace. Love that. Then we've got this lovely little sort of makeup toiletry bag. And then we've got this lovely, lovely patchwork bag, which Jude will be demonstrating for you. Again, that one's using Fat Quarters as well. Then at 12 o'clock, Yarn Lane today is the launch of the West Yorkshire Spinners Riverside Collection, which is a beautiful collection of garments from jumpers, cardigans, sleeveless tops, hats, scarves, cowls, all from a brand new pattern book featuring West Yorkshire Spinners' new colourways of yarn. And even better than that, we have got Sarah Hatton on air to demonstrate, and she is the lady who designed all of these. Brand new guest to Yarn Lane, never had her on before, and I love it when we can get a guest on who's actually designed all the patterns, so she can talk us through her inspiration, all the technicalities, or anything. So if you've never watched Yarn Lane before, you don't have to do anything if you're watching on the TV. You just move from Sewing Street to Yarn Lane. If you want to watch on Facebook or the website, you have to go onto yarnlane.com. But that's going to be a lovely show. It really is your autumn winter knits joy. And I've got them all with me in the studio as well. So I've got to touch and feel and stroke them all. They are gorgeous. Anyway, let's start with our thread pack. Hang on a minute. The one that's the furthest away. And do you know what? My arms are not long enough. So this isn't the early bird. We've done that. But we do have a special offer on this today. Save £10. And you know, love the box. Love the box. Put my glasses on for this. Way. Love the box. Look at this. These are all Gutermann thread. Beautiful quality Gutermann, 100% polyester thread. I love sewing with this thread because it's strong. A lot of people, when they're sewing cotton, prefer to sew with cotton, and you know there is different preferences, different things. I like to use this Gutermann thread because it's polyester, so it's really strong. And you get all of these colours. So if you've bought the Fat Quarter bundle, what a fantastic thing to put with this. And today, £69.99, you save £10 for all of these threads. So it works out at £1.66 per spool. And there's 100 metres on each spool, 110 yards. Beautiful quality. All of the spools have got their colour numbers on. So if you've used one and you've finished it, then you can buy a replacement. And they all fit in these beautiful things. So, I mean, it's a lovely gift pack, isn't it? If you wanted to buy somebody a lovely set. Lovely thing to keep it in because it just looks so nice, doesn't it? And all the spools fit in there. So you've got all the colours you need, from sort of whites, blacks and greys through to all the yellows and the reds, selection of purples, loads of blues and greens. In fact, they go together beautifully. They've almost got the same sort of balance of colourways as our Fat Quarter bundle. So if you've got that and you've got the thread, you're laughing. Beautiful present to yourself or to someone else. Save £10. It's lovely, isn't it? That's my favourite colour. Isn't that lovely? That's sort of a greeny, limey, sort of moss colour. But you can, I mean, obviously you can, once you've used a spool, you can put something else in it, but they do all have the numbers on if you wanted to replace it exactly. £10 saving, that's amazing. I mean, it's not, so that's almost like having 2 early birds, isn't it? So I think, do you think it's, I've come back to a holiday special, and Kat's had a weekend off as well. So it's both our back from holiday special. But you know, as a sewer, how much thread you use, and you might think, oh, £69.99, that's a lot to spend. But when you think it's only £1.66 per spool, that is an absolute bargain. And you will use them, because it's really frustrating that when you can't find the right colour. And I like the fact that they've put the white and the off-white in and the cream, because that's what you need. Sometimes you just don't, you want the bright white, and other times I just need it just a bit lower than that. And then you've got a richer cream as well. So they really have sort of covered all the colourways that you would use. And the lovely orange, which is brilliant for top stitching, even if you're not using, I use orange a lot. And rarely to match orange fabric, actually, for top stitching. And that one there's brilliant. The ochre colour is lovely for top stitching as well. And then you've got the sort of the staple colours of brown and navy, which are great when you're hemming jeans and things. And then you've got 4 different shades of grey. Not 50, but 4. 4 shades of grey. So $69.99 for that fantastic thread album. 42 spools, 100 metres for 100% polyester, and it's beautiful quality thread. Lovely. So, you know, maybe even if you're thinking of Christmas presents, if you've bought the fat quarter pack and you've bought this, you could give them, say, 5 fat quarters with the matching spools of threads. What a lovely present. Use one of the fat quarters to make a little gift bag to put it all in. Perfect present for your sewy friends. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it is August, so we are talking about Christmas. In fact, we've got Christmas coming up later this week, Thursday. We're having a little... Christmas is this week, yes. Well, we like to get ahead. In fact, I saw a message on Yarn Lane the other day where someone said, has anyone started their Christmas knitting yet? I'm worried I'm a bit behind. See? So we've got to start Christmas soon. So we're starting Christmas on Thursday. So it is the time to start thinking about that. I know that's sad, but it's good to get ahead. Spread the cost. Right, let's stick with our rainbow theme. Yeah, there's too many R's in that rainbow theme. Now, in this bundle, there are 11 meters of fabric in total. I'm going to show you one of them. So this is what they all look like, because you get loads of them. So let me show you one of them. Let's go for this blue one, so you can see what they look like. Let's put the bag down to one side. So there's a 1/2 meter of each of these fabrics, and this is what it looks like. So you can buy these by the 1/2 meter individually on the website. Look at them. You've got in the 1/2 meter all these beautiful shades. So what lovely to just use as it is, but if you were using it for any kind of patchwork, whether it's just squares or 1/2 square triangles or applique, you've got all of those different shades in just a 1/2 meter. So wonderful for doing things like for using for strips of binding, because if you cut it across, then it will change colour gradually as it goes along, and that is just one of them. So in this bundle, you get 1/2 meter for free. That's the way it works out. £125.79. Now that goes into our split pay option, so you can pay 2 equal payments of £62.89. You pay one now, one in a month's time, but you will get sent it straight away. You haven't got to wait for both payments, and it is interest free, so you don't cost you anything to split it. It's just if you find that more convenient. That's just one of them, but that's what they look like. That is one of the blue ones, and remember there are 12, how many are in here? 11 meters in total. And that is just one of the blues. So in this bundle, let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's massive. Oh, there should be 22. Have I miscounted? There are 22. I think I've miscounted. I missed out one of them. So you don't just get one blue. It's a bit like that quarter pack I just showed you. You get all of these different blues. You know, and you can see it starting off from that sort of ocean blue, moving into like a navy. Then you get a lovely deep teal and a lighter teal. And then it moves into a bluey green, which then goes into green. So this is like having, because each of these fabrics has lots of different shades in it, in total, over all of these, the 22.5 meters, you've got every shade going. I mean, you've got that beautiful lime green one there that, you know, moves in from a deep lime green all the way to sort of a whitey green. Then you've got a bright yellow. You've got the taupes, greys. The cream is gorgeous. And then you get, I mean, even the white one is lovely because it's really gentle shades. And then you get the grey one and then the black and white one. Now, there are only 5 of these bundles left, been incredibly popular. So if you do want to buy this, let me just show you the black and white one. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Now, if you think, right, I love that and I want 5 metres of it, we do sell this by the half metre. You just need to look on the website. It's called Free Spirit Stratosphere. If you look on there, you can actually buy it by the half metre. But obviously, if you buy this special bundle today, you will get a half metre totally free. I mean, and it is, and this is designer label fabric. It's Free Spirit. It's not the basic range. This is designer label fabric. It is absolutely stunning. And we only went through the blues and the greens and the greys. So I need to, all of those and all of those. And then you get purples, even 2 different purples, 3 different purples. So you've got like the bluey purple, the purpley purple, the pinky purple. And then you've got lovely, like deep plum pink, and then very sort of fuchsia pink, moving into a dark red, and then a light red. Gorgeous. That's amazing, amazing value, isn't it? 11 metres. So remember, you get half a metre for free, and in each of those, it's half a metre. Now, this is normal quilting weight fabric, so it's 44-inch, 112 centimetre width of fabric. Isn't it lovely? Look at all of those. Beautiful. But please be quick if you do want it. Right, let's move on to design rolls. Let me just move these off one moment to put on my trolley. Which one are we opening up? This one? Ooh. This one is Moda, the Confection Batiks range by Kate Spain. Oh, look at this. Oh, look. Do you know what? It even comes with a fabric tie. I like that. It's not a ribbon. This is actually a fabric tie. Somebody has actually sewn this together. That's quite impressive. I love things like that. It's actually a strip of fabric sewn together and you get a little tie. Oh, it's lovely. That's free. I do like that. In fact, make the whole thing in. So this is a design roll, which means that every strip is 2.5 inches wide and they are cut across the full width of fabric. So there are loads and loads of different books you can get where design rolls are used, which we have on today's show. And you can join them together and make lots of different quilts and patterns and designs because they're all pre-cut into the 2.5 inch. But do you know what they're brilliant for? Sashings and borders when you're making a quilt that have got a main panel on them as well. But they are also really good for binding because if you sew a few of these together end to end, they're beautiful for binding things, whether it's for quilting or bag making or for little purses or even for dressmaking, like if you were binding a hemline or something. But these are gorgeous. All the fabrics, obviously, all from one collection, so they all go together. Even though all the colours are very, very different, they will all go together. So we'll have a quick look. I mean, you know, the batik fabric's beautiful. They're done with different methods where they'll drop wax on and then dye, and then they heat it up, the wax disappears, then they put another colour on. So you get layer upon layer of colours and patterns. And these move all the way through the rainbow, going from pinks to reds, and then we move into the purples. I mean, all of them. Can you imagine what an amazing, if you just join these together in strips, join them together, cut them up to make 2.5 inch wide strips, make a fantastic rainbow quilt. But each one of these is beautiful. I love design rolls. They're the sort of thing that once you undo, you think, right, I'm committed now. So we've moved into the purples. Now look, I mean, they're very, very vibrant sea greens now. Every single strip is different. And you get 40 of them. Look at the lovely jade greens there. Love that one. And much deeper ones. I mean, it really is every colour. And it is beautiful weight fabric as well. Sometimes the batik fabrics are slightly stiffer, but these aren't. They're very light. Then, oh, let me move here. But they are proper quilting weight cotton, but normally batiks can be a bit stiffer, but these are like a beautiful quilting weight cotton. I love that one. And every one is, you know, it's got these beautiful prints, but it's all very organic, isn't it? They haven't got any hard, sharp lines because of the way they are block printed. Ooh, look at the jade, look at that one, really bright and then you move all the way into the sea blues. So you really have got every colour, but you know that because this is from one collection, although you've got lots of different colours, they actually all go together and blend really well. Now I've got to try and flatten them up. You'll know if you've ever bought a design roll that you'll never get it back rolled up quite the same. You can roll it back up. It's never quite the same. What I tend to do with mine once I've unrolled them is I put them into like a little plastic or an organza or a little fabric bag just to keep them safe. You can roll them up, but you never get them as tight. I think they must be done on a machine. Just try to keep them flat. Otherwise you have to iron them a lot afterwards. I'm just trying to lay mine out. Aren't they beautiful though? You see, this is my vague attempt at rolling up a design roll. It's not very easy. I mean, that's vaguely there, isn't it? Anyway, which one next? Oh, this one. Ooh, these are nice. So these are the barley pops, but they're just plain. So, brilliant if you can't be bothered to cut. So they're all your normal 2.5 inch width, 2.5 inch width, 44 inch length. There are 40 of them, 40 strips, and they're all black. But they're the beauty. I mean, they're really, I love the quality of this fabric. It is quilting weight, but it has a real fineness to it. But it is, you know, 100% cotton quilting, but because it's very good quality fabric. But that's amazing, isn't it? So if maybe you're making like a stained glass window quilt, or you're doing something with really, really bright colours, or you want some neutral things and you just want lots of borders and bindings or sashings in a plain black, this is absolutely perfect for that. Only $39.99, and you get 40 of them, but it is beautiful quality. If you have bought Hoffman, you will understand it is quilting weight, but it is fine. It's beautiful, and it's a lovely jet black. Now, obviously, if you do the black, you need to do the white as well. Just as useful, depends on what you're doing. So again, 40 strips. And it just makes life a lot simpler, doesn't it? Because it's all cut for you. 2.5, they're all 2.5 inches wide, and they're all the full width of the fabric, which is 44 inches. This one. That one. Ah, there we go. You know, so I couldn't see that way around. So I was saying to you, if you want to make something with your pre-cut 2.5 strips, sometimes they're called design rolls, sometimes they're called jelly rolls, depends what manufacturer they have. But basically, you can cut these yourself. So you can use normal fabric and cut it into 2.5 inch strips. But this book has got quilts all designed around you just 2.5 inch strips pre-cut, which is great for those plain black and white ones. So you've got, you know, ignore the colourway, you can use whatever you want, but these are all around those strips already being cut to give you some idea. So this is really, you know, if you want a quick and easy quilt to make where you can avoid all the cutting. So this one uses 30 pre-cut batik strips. Perfect for the collection batiks I've just shown you. Isn't that stunning? So easy because you haven't got the cutting, have you? And we have to cut the lengths of them. There's a midnight one. Again, one set of 40 pre-cut strips, which you have. Beautiful. Oh, that's a lovely autumnal one. For $8.99, look at all the ideas you get in the book. I love that one. I mean, these are like, you know, a lot of these are purely really beginner as well. That's really nice, isn't it? That's lovely. Isn't that nice for sort of a spare bed or to drape over the sofa? And you could use whatever. We've got some more 2.5 inch design roll strips for you as well. So remember, $8.99 for this book. Isn't that gorgeous? You can use any, I mean, you can see it's a real mixture of colours, doesn't really matter. But then there's a completely different way to do it, where you turn them all into squares. So what a lovely, if you're thinking, do you know what, I really want to make a quilt, not sure where to start, what do I do, how do I cut, what do I need? This is a brilliant start for you. So you buy the book, $8.99, and then just choose one of the design rolls. So this quilt here uses, where's the instructions? 70 pre-cut strips. So if you bought 2 of the design rolls, that would be enough to make this. Or what you can do is use a design roll for the print and then use some of your own plain fabrics. If you've bought the fat quarter pack, you can use some of those as well. So you can put some print fabrics, so you can use the more designer fabrics, but mix and match those with the less expensive plain fabrics, and you've got a beautiful quilt. I love that. That's a good size, 75 by 87 inches, that quilt as well. So that's your really serious double bed size. So, you know, when you're thinking, oh wow, I don't know where to start with this one. That looks like the ends of colouring pencils. Beautiful for colours, but wouldn't that look lovely in a single colour? So if you just did it in blues and you used all different shades of blues, or monochrome, or if you wanted to keep monogram, or if you wanted to keep it really neutral in shades of sort of taupes as well, or super bright. I love that. And that looks really clever, doesn't it? Really, really clever. So you think, right, I want to start a quilt, or, oh, I've got I've got a wedding coming up, and it's one of those we don't want presents weddings. Well, I have not got a wedding coming up. But say, you know, when you've got a wedding you're going to, or a special celebration, and they go, we don't want any presents. And you think, oh, well, I really want to give them something. Then make a quilt. Wedding, baby, any celebration, everybody loves a quilt. And this is a really good place to start. Get the book, $8.99, and then pick a design roll strip that you like, and then you can always mix and match your own with it as well. And obviously, you don't need to use the colourways that they do. Just think about how they've placed their colours, because we have got cave design rolls for you next. And wow, I'm thinking, can you imagine this lovely colour pencil quilt, which isn't called the colour pencil quilt, that one in the cave? I'll show you those in a minute. So I think this is fantastic value, because there are 9 whole quilt designs in here. So that's £1 a design. Bargain. Annie's quilting is always really popular because the instructions are really simple, really easy to understand. So let's do some cave design rolls. So I was lucky enough, not last week, not really last week, but the week before went to the Festival of Quilts, and I got to interview Cave, and I was really nervous about it. What's it going to be like? I mean, I have met him before, but not for that length of time. I was thinking, oh, what's it going to be like? What am I going to ask him? He was so nice, really, really, really lovely, warm, genuine man, and so talented, but so interesting. It was lovely to meet him. But I mean, his fabrics are gorgeous, but when you meet the man and you talk to him, he just makes the whole process come alive. So he explained to me, you know, how he works through the different colour processes, what inspires him, what he likes, what he doesn't like, and you suddenly sort of see the history behind it. I mean, I was fascinated to learn that he hand paints all of the designs before they're printed. And I said, well, what about when you do like one colourway? Because, you know, he does a fabric and he'll do it in 5 colourways. You just sort of get the computer to do it. And he doesn't. He hand paints every colourway. And then he gets to check. That's then printed onto the fabric. And he gets to check afterwards whether it's what he likes. But they have limited him now. He's only allowed to check 3 times. And then they say, right, now we've got to print it, which is fair enough. But, you know, the time and the skill that's put into these design rolls. So this first one is the 40-piece design roll Prism. So this is your rainbow one. Now I'm thinking that the colour pencil quilt. I'm not allowed to open this one. Oh, can I use a pair of? Oh. Yes, quite often when they put together packs of the cave fabrics, they're put into sort of cools or warms or oranges or blues or pinks. But this one is the rainbow. I mean, when you look at the end of it, you can see the colours. But look at the colours in there. Now, if we take the, I mean, actually, any of these, that one would be beautiful. But this one, wouldn't that look stunning? In this one. So this one uses 80 strips, so you'd need 2 of these, or you could put some plain ones. But when you look at this, look, as I turn it around, look at all the colours from the reds, pinks, yellows, greens, blues, through to purples, and then deeper colours as well. I mean, it's just, you know, as well, the way that he puts colours together, that all the colours and prints in here will go together. However you do it and however you order them, they will go together. Now, if you wanted to mix and match it with, so you need 80, say, to make this quilt. So if you had this one and then you bought, you know, one of these, a white one or a black one, then either would go with these and you could use that for all the other parts of it. So it's just a really quick way. So you're thinking, right, I want to make a quilt from present, don't know where to start, love the cave fabrics. This is a really good place to start. But it would do the coloured pencil one as well, which I can't remember what it's called. Stripping Hexes it's called. But look, wouldn't that look stunning? Actually, if you see it there, you can see the whole quilt in these colourways. So if you bought the white barley pop and this, well, and yeah, you'd obviously need the book as well. We're just shopping for you. But I'm thinking, you know, isn't that, it's just easier, isn't it? It does tell you exactly what you need for this. So you actually need so you need 40 pre-cut assorted strips, 40 dark and 40 solid whites. So if you had one of these and the black one and the white one, or two of these and the white one, but you know, you can mix them together with anything. Mix them with the other cave. We've got other cave design rolls as well. That one would look nice. So that's the Prism Brights one. So this one is called Emperor. So this one was really popular. So this is your shades of purples and greens and teals, and there's some pinks and plums. So they're sort of the more muted colours. Well, for cave, for other people maybe not, but for cave I would say these are a bit more muted, but they are beautiful purples and greens and plums. But look, there's the picture. I'm not going to open this one because we are limited and we'll have to send this one out. But look, you can see from the image on screen, $44.99, you get 40 2.5-inch strips. So if you put this one together with the Prism Brights one, that would make the most fantastic quilt. But there are other designs in the book that only use one of these packs. But if you get the book, you'll be able to see. So this is the next one. This one is called Equator. You can tell why, can't you? It's hot, 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 hot pink, hot orange, hot plum. Oh, there's that lovely one there, that sort of dark burgundy with the pink spot. Recognise that one. So if you have a look on screen now. Look now, if you're listening, not watching, those are all the colours. That's where it's all, that's a beautiful photo, isn't it? Can you imagine how difficult that was to unroll it, but not unroll it? Anyway, those are all the colours. So you can see why it's called Equator. It is beautiful, isn't it? Because it's all the hot shades of all the colours. So $44.99, you get 40 of them, and they are 2.5 inches by 44 inches. Final design roll is Ocean. Guess why it's called Ocean? Yeah, I think these must all be pinks. No, silly. They're green. There are a bit of pink, but they're your ocean colours. Greens and bright blues. Yeah, they all go well together, but doesn't Emperor and Ocean go well together? Look, I'll roll them together so you can see. So if you bought this book, I'm thinking this design here, which is called Jardin Bleu, needs 70 pre-cut strips. There you go, that's 80. Get 10 left. And 2/3 of a yard of cream print. So you could just use just a bit of plain cream. But wouldn't that look amazing? But you know, you could use one of these and then, as I said, use some plain fabrics as well. But this is a fantastic way to make the most stunning quilt using these K things. And it's only $44.99 for one design roll. I mean, you could buy two. You could buy two to make that quilt. I mean, and this is a beautiful size. This is a double bed size. So if you wanted a single, you would need less than that. But, you know, you want some inspiration. You've got your cave. Fantastic book for that. There's loads in there. Right. So I'm just going to move those. We've got all of these open so we can go through these. So we've now got 10-inch charm packs. basically means that you get 42 pieces. Each one of them is 10 inches square. This one is Ocean. Yours will come in a package like this. Yeah. So if you wanted to give it away, that's fine. Yours will not come like this. I'm just showing you. But if you like the design roll, so this one is called Ocean. So if you want to see, these are exactly the same fabrics that are in the design roll, but they're just in 10-inch squares instead. So look at the prints in here. Can you imagine these in a quilt? I am so tempted. Look at the rickrack on there. This is interesting because these are from Kaif's Collective. Now, Kaif's Collective is Kaif, Brandon and Philip. And the three of them together, they create the all the prints. And it's quite interesting because I asked Kaif why he works with Brandon and Philip on this, and he says all of them complement each other. They work in different ways. And he was saying how Philip loves doing design, but he doesn't like colour, which Kaif said was music to his ears because he helps them with the colour. But you can see, you can almost pinpoint who's designed what, but they just go together beautifully. I mean, this is obviously Kaif, isn't it? Should we just slide that one out? Look at that. That's one of my favourite ever fabrics. Love that. And he does that in all the colourways. I love that one. Cabbages. Look at them. Love that. Look at the geometry of the fans. And then you've got these beautiful big chrysanthemums, maybe. Very big flowers. I reckon that one's Philip. Spots. But, you know, all of the colours and the prints. That one's definitely Brandon. I've seen that one before. All like pebbles. It's beautiful, isn't it? But all the colours and the prints go together so well in here. They're all blues and greens. And by mixing the three designers in his collective, you get a nice variance of print, but also of scale, shape and size, which is really important. Love the cabbages. I don't think they're called cabbages, but that's what they are. So that is Ocean. The next one I have is this one Prism? Yes, this one's Prism. So this is the one that I showed you at the beginning. There was like the rainbow design roll. This has been the most popular. Again, remember you get 42 10-inch squares. Again, look, you can see the same prints coming through, but it's rainbow. I'm going to go through them quite quickly so you can see reds, oranges, and then whoa, look at yellow cabbages. Yellow, I mean, that's rainbow cabbages actually, isn't it? Greens, moving through to the blues and the purple. So you have got all the colours of the rainbow, but in all of these beautiful prints. So all you've got to decide is, do I want the 10-inch charm pack or do I want the jelly roll or do I want both? Obviously, yours will come ready packaged like that. Well, it will come nice. This one is called, this is Emperor. Now look at the colour. You can see why it's called Emperor, can't you? Look at the beautiful, rich purple and green. Right, I mean, they are all still available. We're just having, oh, look at the purple cabbages. We just have to go a little bit quicker. We won't get through everything. Spots. So if you love the Emperor design roll, because I wasn't allowed to open that because we're limited in that one. But if you want to have a look at the colours and the prints in it, you can see them all on here. But aren't they gorgeous? So that is the Emperor colourway. Remember, they're 10-inch squares. The next one is called Equator. Oh, I was right. So this is your hot prints. Hot in every colour. So hot pinks and oranges and reds, you know, mixed with that beautiful, vibrant lime green. It's like a cocktail, isn't it? It is. Oh, look at that, orange cabbages. I mean, I love the way that he always puts together the oranges and the hot pinks. And then how does he work out that that green goes together with it? Well, he's a genius, he is. Beautiful. I said to him, what's the secret of staying young? And other than the Pilates, he said colour. Colour is the secret to staying young. It's having colour and vibrancy, because it just makes you smile, doesn't it? There's a place for monochrome and teal, but there is a very strong place for serious colour. And if you don't know how to put colour together yourself and you're scared of it, which I am a little bit, to be honest, then just use what Cave does because he does it so well. But, you know, remember, they go beautifully. Put them with the black, put them with the plain white. It makes all the colours pop. Beautiful. So that's the Equator one. And I've got 2 more. I have to get them because they're off on the side of the table. I love this one. Love this one. This one is called Cool. This one is lovely because this is really it's gentle in Cave's way of being gentle, but it is gentle. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous with the pink and white clouds and the green palm leaves? So this one is all cools and gentles, but still, obviously, you know, as I was saying, as cool as he can be. It is like it's Cave's version of pastel, which clearly isn't, but it is beautiful, isn't it? So when you think, right, well, I'm going to make a quilt with them, you just got to think about what feeling you want in that room. Do you want it to be equator hot and sunny? Do you want it to be a bit cooler? Do you want a rainbow fun one with the prism? Or do you want sort of the regality of the Emperor one? I love this one. Look, if you look at it really closely, it's all buttons. And they've even got a little cross of sewing thread in the middle of each of the buttons. They look like lily pads from a distance, and then you get up close, and they're all little buttons, but fun. Aren't they lovely? Look at that one just on its own is beautiful, isn't it? So this is Cool. It's just a mixture of, yeah. Ooh, hang on a minute. I've got to look at that one. Look at that. Whoa, that is so dramatic, isn't it? That's great. Yeah, I want to make a dress out of one of these. Oh, there's the blue buttons. I wouldn't know where to start. Actually, a patchwork dress would look fantastic, wouldn't it? But out of this charm pack, you can make a whole dress. Join them all together. Yeah, just join them all together. Use that and then just lay your sewing pattern on top and cut out and see what happens. Be amazing. And then the final one is called Hot. So again, this is the same prints as in the other one, but the hot version. Now there's only 14 left of this one. Look at it. Whoa, I mean, look at that. It's just like orange and blue. This is super hot. This is summer. Summer in a quilt. Look, that's the buttons, but in pink. But do you know what? If you bought the hot one and the cool one, the colours cross at some point, they meet at some point. So the cooler end of the hot and the hotter end of the cool, they do meet. So even though they're completely different packs, they actually go together really well, which is the beauty of the Cave colourways, because it all does go together so well. That one's lovely, isn't it? How am I going to get through all 42 of them? And some of them are a bit creased now. I'll have to keep this one. I'll have to keep this one. Look at that. And isn't that lovely? You've got that whole big, beautiful flower right in the middle of it. That one's, some of them I remember because when I was talking to Cave, we went through some. This is Brandon Shark Teeth. Love that one. Look at that one. They're like, I love that one. That's really autumnal, isn't it? And buttons again. Love the buttons. And the peacock feathers. That's lovely, isn't it? Well, I don't know if they're peacock feathers. They look like peacock feathers. They might just be feathers. And then purples. So this is really hot, hot, hot. But it's kind of autumnal as well because it moves into a lot of these sort of damson, plummy, chocolatey colours as well. So this is just sort of, the cool one is spring, summer. No, the cool one is winter, spring. And this hot one is summer, autumn, I'd say. Anyway, you just got to choose. Just got to choose. But we are limited on that one. Only $44.99. Right, let's move on to Tula Pink because she's just as bright and mad as Cave. We don't have many of these left, so I'm not going to open them up. We got 2. Oh, both of them are together. Whoa. So save 10%, £16 off, only 143.98, and luckily it goes on to split pay of 2 equal payments of 71.99. There are 40, oh, so there's 24 in each, sorry. So 48 fat quarters in total. I mean, it's like a real mixture. You've got the Curious and Curiously range, which is the Alice in Wonderland range, and the True Colours range. Now, there is a whole mixture. If I turn them on their sides like that, look, you can see it goes all the way from the greens through to the blues and the purples, all the way through to the oranges and the pinks. Now, they are all beautiful. Obviously, if you know the Tula Pink fabric, it's Free Spirit qualities. Beautiful, beautiful quality. And you're only paying £2.99 for a Tula Pink fat quarter. I mean, these are beautiful. I love the Curious and Curiously range. You get the teacups, the little teacups. These are just gorgeous. And you have got all the blues and all the pinks. So again, you can use this with any of the pre-cut books. They're all fat quarters. You've got a lot of fabric here, and it's just beautiful. If you've ever sewn with the Free Spirit fabric, with Tula Pink fabric, whether it's because Free Spirit does Tula and the Cave fabric, it is beautiful quality. It's incredibly soft. When I saw Cave's quilts that were made from this fabric and actually touched them, they are so soft. I mean, they are the normal quilting weight cotton, but you know why they are a premium designer fabric, because of the quality of them. But the prints in here, you know, if you want to make a quilt that is absolutely stunning, or you just want to have some beautiful fabrics to add to your stash because you want to make everybody a gift bag for Christmas, here it is. One fat quarter for the outer, one for the lining. Or maybe you think, right, well, I just want to make a load of really fun cushions that I'm going to use outdoors, or I'm going to use in the lounge or the conservatory. You know, there's a lot of mileage here. You don't just have to do, it's not when you buy a bundle like think, well, I've got to make a quilt. You don't have to. There's so many different things you can make with these. So gosh, we've only got 5 minutes left. So let's finish off with Alice Caroline. Now, there are quite a few things that we didn't manage to get to because we had so much, but we will run that into the 11 o'clock hour and we'll go through it then. So just a few little squares, 2.5-inch squares. So finally we had Alice Caroline join us last week, and we have got just a few of her packs left. So unlike the 2.5-inch design roll strips, these are then cut into squares again. So these are absolutely perfect for hand piecing. Use them for machine piecing if you want to just make, there's 36 of them, if you want to make yourself a cushion cover from Liberty Fabrics. And it is Tana Lawn. It's not the quilting weight fabric, it is the Liberty Tana Lawn. Or maybe you're doing some EPP and you want to use them for that. Or maybe little pieces of applique and you only want a small piece. You get 36 2.5-inch Liberty Tana Lawn squares for just $9.99. I think that's an absolute bargain. I mean, that's just a nice little stocking filler for somebody, isn't it? Or maybe, you know, you've got a friend who knows does a little bit of sewing and you just want to buy them, you know, just a small little token for Christmas or for a birthday or as a special little thank you present. What a lovely little gift. And make a nice little bag. Well, wouldn't it look? 9 different fabrics, 4 pieces of each fabric, 36 squares in total. Perfect for patchwork, applique, card making, scrapbooking, decoupage and more. So look, they've done a whole cushion with that one. Or they've used it for on a card. I mean, that's lovely, isn't it? You don't even need to think about how the fabrics go. They just work together. So that is the rainbow. But if you want and think, I just want pink. Look at the pinks in that. You've got the really sort of the brighter pinks and then the really soft dusky pinks. And these are the exact ones you will get. So even if, you know, every pack does not vary. If you buy the pink one, you will get these fabrics. And then finally, the blue one. I love that one on the top. Look at the little pansies. So it does say you get 9 different fabrics and 4 pieces of each fabric. just beautiful. So if you think I want them cut already, you just join them all together. You make yourself a cushion in no time, and it's just lovely. Really suits quilting as well, because the Tana lawn quilts so well. Particularly if you put a cotton wadding behind it, it will quilt ever so well, because the fabric takes the stitches so well. Lovely for hand quilting. Anyway, nice little thing to pop in your basket. Now, don't forget today's early bird. We do still have a few of them left. Not many, but we do have a few. It is the whole complete and utter collection of 67 of the plain fabrics, Rose and Hubble, beautiful quality, every single colour, and you save £16.92. Only £99.99 for 67 fat quarters. So please, if you do want it, put it in your basket and check out. It's been incredibly popular today, and we've never done an offer like this on our plain fat quarters. But that's one of everything. Not much more you're going to want after that, is there? Now, there are a few bits that I didn't get to, because I spent quite a lot of time talking about cave, surprisingly. But we will come back to those at 11 o'clock. Anyway, joining us in just a couple of minutes' time is Jude Edmondson, who's going to show us how to make this fantastic, fun, glorious and easy What Is the Weather Today wall hanging. We've got it in 2 different colours, and she's going to be showing us how. So please don't go anywhere, and I will see you back here in a couple of minutes' time.
We know that shopping online can be a confusing and sometimes daunting task, and sometimes all you want to do is talk to a human being. Well, our family-run customer service team are on call 24/7. They're full of friendly, warm-hearted individuals, all trained to make your shopping experience as easy and as enjoyable as possible. And not only will they take your order, they will also help and guide you on your shopping journey, so you never miss out.
Hello everyone, I'm Delphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles, and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. And then I went full circle, and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it. So now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
If you're a Sewing Street or Yarn Lane customer, no matter how many times you check out in one day, you will only pay 1 postage and packaging. So don't wait to add the item you want to your basket and check out. You will only pay 1 P&P even if you check out multiple times in one day. Have you heard about all of the different ways you can shop with Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? You can either shop on our websites, sewingstreet.com and yarnlane.com. You can also order by phone by calling our friendly UK customer service team. For Sewing Street, call 0800 001 4433, and for Yarn Lane, call 0800 4700 600. And don't forget about the Sewing Street app. Here you can shop all of the Sewing Street products as well as watch the live shows from anywhere. You can download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet by simply searching Sewing Street in your app store. And one final thing, no matter how many times you check out on Sewing Street or Yarn Lane in one day, you will only pay 1 postage and packaging. Happy shopping!
In need of a crafting fix? There are so many ways you can watch Sewing Street and Yarn Lane. Sewing Street is live from 8 AM to 1 PM every day on Freeview 72 and Sky 670. Alternatively, if you want to watch us on a tablet or on the move, you can tune in on our YouTube channel, the Sewing Street app, or the websites at www.sewingstreet.com and www.yarnlane.com. You can watch past shows on Sky 670 from 1 p.m. every day, as well as our YouTube channel, the app, and our website. Yarn Lane is on from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Visit our programme guide to find out when and what's on. So you never have to spend a minute without us.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
And welcome back to Sewing Street. What's the weather today? Who knows? Best to stay indoors. It wasn't very nice this morning. So let's celebrate with the glorious weather that we're not having at the moment. You might be having it somewhere. Lucky you if you are. With this gorgeous What is the Weather Today wall hanging. Really easy peasy to make, and we've got it available in 2 colourways. Now the beauty of this is everything that you need is printed onto the panel, and we have all the bits you need in the kit too. So you have the panel. You've got 1 metre of magenta, which is the coordinating fabric. This is the bright colourway. And you get 1 metre of the hook and loop tape. And you also get the packet of, turning around, 2 ounce wadding, which you need to quilt it with. So let's have a look at the panel, and I'll show you what's in it before we go over to Jude, who's going to show us how to make it. But this is great. This is brilliant for child's bedroom, toddler's bedroom, baby's nursery. Brilliant if you work in a school or a nursery or a play group, or in, you know, or a shop, anything where, because it's a real sort of, it's a very activity thing, educational as well. So, you know, got the school holidays. Maybe you've got, if you've got children who want to learn how to sew, you want to do some sewing with them and make something that they would like to have. I mean, everyone loves these because every single day you've got to change it. So on one side of the panel, you've got all the spaces that you need to put everything. So you've got the days, weather, and then this is where you choose. So you've got the days, weather, month, numbers, and seasons. That's where all the pieces sit. That's where they'll live. And then every day you change day, date, month, season, weather. So you could make one for each of the children, or they could share it, and you can say whose turn is it to put the day and the date. It's a really good educational tool, as well as being fun too, because you know they'll soon work out. So on the other side here are all the labels. So you've got all the days of all the months, all the days of the week, and then you can choose between all the weather. Sunshine, rainy, snowy, windy and cloudy. And there should just be that one that's just like nothing really, just generally grey. I guess that's cloudy maybe. And then you've got all the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, winter, and then all the numbers as well, so that you can put them all together and then you can have all the different days. So that is the bright one. So in the bright colourway, you get this big pre-printed panel with everything you need in it. The metre of the magenta fabric, which is used for the back and for the hanging tabs. 1 metre of hook and loop tape. See, double sew in hook and loop tape. And then you get the pack of 2 ounce wadding. $19.99 is a fantastic price. So, and you know, and it's fairly simple to make. Jude's going to show us how. And so it doesn't come with instructions because you don't need them, because it's really simple. But you know, if you want a little project to do with the children in the summer holidays, or you know, you think, oh, I know where I could hang that. Where that, you know, for the children, the grandchildren, nephews, nieces, godchildren, local nursery, you think would like one of these. But if you don't want the bright one, we have it in another colourway. This is called blue and yellow because it's blue and yellow. So if you wanted to make one for, you know, different ones for different children's bedrooms, whether you want the bright one or the blue and yellow one. Again, you've got one side of the panel, you've got, you know, the days, the weather, the month, the numbers and the seasons. That's where all of that lives. And then here are all the sections. You'll see in a minute when Jude shows you how you do it all. But that's where you then put all the pieces. And then on this side, in this blue and yellow colourway, you've got all the months, days, all the weathers, all the seasons, and the numbers. This comes with 1 metre of the plain chambray fabric, which is used for the backing and the hanging tabs, 1 metre of the hook and loop tape. That does that, so you sew one bit onto one side and one bit onto the other side, and 1 metre of the wadding which is used for quilting it. So for £19.99, that's a really, really good price because you've got everything you need other than the sewing thread, you know, and those all the little bits and pieces. Maybe if you wanted to make something over the summer holidays, you know, you don't want to go out and buy all the different bits because everything you need is in that one pack there, which is fantastic, isn't it? Now we have 2 other panels as well for you. Well, actually, I've got 3 here. I was going to say I've got 3 here. On a similar theme, this is the strip. So these are your alphabet animal strips. Oh, I can hardly get it all onto the table. So there are 16 strips on here. They're all 2.5 inches wide, so like your normal design rolls. And but they're longer. They're 55 inches long. You're not your normally 44 inch. So they are all they're all alphabet. So you've got some that are all the letters, and then you've got some with just a few, you know, with the letter print on it. A is for apple, B is for Big Ben, C is for crocodile, D is for dolphin, E is for elephant, F for flamingo, G for giraffe, H for helicopter, I for igloo, J for jellyfish, K for koala, L for lion, hang on, I'm just getting it, M for monkey, N for narwhal, Q for O for octopus, just checking, see if you're concentrating, P for panda, Q for queen, keep moving it, R for roundabout, S for snake, T for trees, U for umbrella, V for vegetables, V for carrot, yeah, W for whale, X for xylophone, hang on, Y for yacht, and Z for zebra. So that's how it works all the way along, but they're interspersed with prints with just a few letters on, but you've got all of those, that whole alphabet that we've just gone through in blue, yellow, green, red, light blue, yellow check, blue spot, and an orange. So what fantastic. $14.99. That's amazing value for 16 strips. Remember, they're longer than your normal design roll strips as well. So it would make a beautiful, you could make a nursery quilt, you could make a nursery wall hanging, you could, you know, if you wanted to make a changing bag or, you know, like a laundry bag, something like that. It's beautiful, isn't it? Anyway, $14.99. That is massive. I'll just try and fold it up. As you can see, that's massive. I think that's fantastic value as well. And that is completely exclusive to Sewing Street. You cannot buy that anywhere else. 2 more panels. These are squares. So these would be really good for, again, a wall hanging or a child's quilt. Because you have got all of the letters of the alphabet and the same people, well, not people, things. In fact, you can see the jellyfish better now. Obviously a jellyfish, that one. So this coordinates beautifully with the panel because it's got all of those letters but bigger. So you could cut them up. You could make them into like a children's storybook. You could make them into a doorstop. You could just cut up maybe 9 of them and either cut 9 together and you could make them into a big floor cushion, or you could cut them up individually, join them together. You could make somebody's name from them, as long as they only use one of each letter. Otherwise, you need to buy 2. But for $14.99, you could buy 2, couldn't you? And then you could make a personalised bag, or you know, you could make a little quilt that hangs above the top their bed with their name on it. Children always like things that are personalised. You could use the letter that is the first name of their name, and sew that to the front of a piece, you know, some fabric to make a little drawstring dap bag. Oh, I'd say dap bag up here, plimsoll bag. School shoes, they don't say daps up here, plimsolls. Oh, and also, there's also a hashtag and an ampersand to fill in the bottom. Look. That's very modern, isn't it? That's for the modern child, the hashtag. Didn't have hashtags in my day. Nobody knew what they were. Hashtag just saying. But we didn't have them. I'm just so cool. And then we have exactly the same thing, but in the pastel. for the pastel people, depending on what you want. I love these. Sort of thing oh, I've got it upside down. You buy it and then decide what you're going to do with it. But I love the colours in this because it's not just your boring pastel. It's really pretty. It's got some lovely mauves and yellows and greens. A really pretty pastel. Isn't that lovely? So it would make a lovely cot quilt. Ever so easy. Bit of wadding behind it, backing fabric, quilt round it all. Loads and loads of different things you can do with that. But a very good, very pretty yet educational. Don't the vegetables look bigger? Bigger. Now you can see them there. I love that. Anyway, so those are complementary things that will go with the weather wall hanging. If you're thinking, right, new baby, what shall I make? Toddler, need to make a present for them. Perfect. But today we are concentrating on the weather wall hanging. So, morning, Jude. Morning.
You okay?
Yes. So how did you find what is the weather today?
Good. I enjoyed making it, to be fair.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy playing with it more?
Yeah, I did. That was the most exciting bit. I was like, oh, I want to put all the things on.
I know, I was really pleased this morning that you hadn't laid it all out, that I could do it myself.
Thought I'd give you a go.
So where did you start? Because it doesn't come with instructions, we need to tell you that. It doesn't have instructions, so you have to watch the demo, but it's actually pretty simple.
Pretty simple, yeah. As long as you figure out how you're going to make the little bits that go on.
Right, okay.
Because there's multiple ways you could make them. I just went the easy route. But to start off with, is that better? No?
No, have it facing you.
This way.
Yay.
So
you've got the blue and yellow colourway there.
Yeah, I've got the blue and yellow, this one. And to start off with, I just cut all of my little Velcro bits. Doesn't really matter what size you do them. I just did them little squares, so each was nice and easy. And they honestly don't take long to sew on at all.
Okay, so have you got enough there? How did you work out how big to cut all the pieces?
Basically, if you just count them, you're all right. I mean, I did run out because I've made 2, but the metre of it was has managed to do 1.5 pretty well. Right, 1 3/4 of it, so you've got a lot more than you would need.
So you don't need to think, oh, I've got to cut tiny pieces.
Yeah.
You just cut a square then, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, these are maybe just less than 1 inch or so. So
right, okay.
You've got plenty to play with. And even with these ones here that are like closer together, you don't really have to. I didn't go around each one individually. I just went down 2 sides and they're still firmly on.
Okay. And machine sew them on, I presume?
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to, you could hot glue gun them.
Right.
If you didn't fancy sewing them.
Okay.
But they're more secure if you sew them, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
And then they're nicely done. And for these ones, I just did a little square around them. But although I have got the wadding on the back, I did sew them all first. Yeah. Before putting the wadding on.
I guess that
just
makes
so it's a little bit easier.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's not as much to go through your machine. And with these ones, if you try and get it in the middle or so, it's a little bit easier, I would think, to make the actual attachment first, just so you can see
then
position.
You can see where it would go.
Where
so
you'd
make
like
the
it,
little pieces first, and then I see what you mean. Because otherwise you might not want it to overlap weather.
Or whatever like that.
Or the season or whatever. Okay.
But super easy. So I'll just sew these on. So say that one in the middle, and you can, if you've got a friction pen or anything like that. For this one, I just put a little cross there. So then I could.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Do it.
So if you've made the little pieces first, then you can work out where to put them.
And you don't really, I mean, you could pin them, but they're quite sturdy little things anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, they are very difficult to hand sew. I've tried hand sewing on
it
tape.
would take you forever as well.
Well, it just really hurts your fingers, doesn't it?
Yeah, need a nice thimble for that. I'll just do a little.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first time I ever sewed through it, I thought, well, listen, I'm going to go through my machine because it's so stiff, but it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, they're absolutely fine. I didn't break any needles, which I'm surprised at, actually. And I don't think it really matters which side you put of the Velcro, because I put the rough side.
So the hook side.
Yeah, the hooks on this side, and then
the loops on that
one.
The
loops on there, but I don't honestly think it matters.
No, as long as you make sure you do it the same way for each.
Yeah.
Well, actually, or the opposite way.
Yeah.
But it's good to know that you could almost do 2 with the amount, because then you don't need to be too frugal when you're cutting it. You can actually cut it to the size.
And I only used little ones. But I suppose then if you've got other projects you wanted to do, you could...
Yes, you will have some left over.
Do that as well. Put these up. And it easily goes through your machine, all of it, even with the wadding on, to be fair.
So you can sew them on with or without the wadding first, that's up to you then?
Yeah, completely. Just makes it a little bit easier when you haven't got it, but
yeah, I see what you mean.
honestly it doesn't matter. And if you do it as like I suppose you could do it with your kids and things if they enjoyed it, or get them to cut the Velcro for you if you
Yeah, it
wanted.
depends on their age and their ability, doesn't it? It's how much you do with them, or they could choose what went where and how it was done. But it's a nice project to sort of, if you've got someone who wants to learn how to machine sew, it's a good start, isn't it?
Start them young.
Start them young,
Yeah.
exactly.
So then, I mean, if I had more Velcro, because I've used it for that, but you would just put them individually on each on there. And then to make all these little bits and bobs that attach.
Right.
So there's obviously spring, summer, all of this for the seasons, where the seasons here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different weathers, obviously 7 days, 12 months. And then you do have numbers, and then you have an extra 1 and a 2 as well.
Right.
So then,
so that you can do.
yeah, because I thought I'd done it wrong. I thought, oh God, I've cut too many, but no.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't be able to do the 22nd, would you?
Exactly.
Or the 15th.
I know. It took me a minute to work it out. I was like, why have I got so many numbers?
Well, yeah, no, you'd be able to do the, you wouldn't be able to do the 11th
11th, yeah.
if you didn't have the extra ones.
Right.
Oh, we've had a picture in from Carol. There we are.
Oh, cute.
Hi, Rebecca and Jude. Here's my version of the weather chart. Our grandchildren, 5 years, 3 years, 2, 1 years, love choosing the various elements. Sunny gets chosen lots, particularly if we've had a lot of rain. It's wishful thinking on their part. Oh, Carol, I think that's brilliant. I think it should be called not what the weather is, but what you want the weather to be.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Wishful thinking weather.
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. Wishful thinking weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be. I'd be choosing snowy and sunny.
Oh,
Just
snowy.
that, but nothing in between.
I love snow.
So do I. It's gorgeous, isn't it?
Just anything. I like winter, I think, more than summer.
I do as well.
Then you can wrap up. can't
Yeah,
you?
I do. I think autumn's my favourite though.
Just anything, really.
I love it when you can light your fire again.
Oh,
That's the best. You go,
get
yes.
cosy and fluffy socks on and
Fluffy
everything.
socks and blankets and
Right.
yeah.
I'm going through it without even talking about it. Right, so I've cut a summer out. Here we go.
Okay.
And then the backing fabric, I've just cut the exact same size.
Okay.
And we were talking before, you could do it in multiple ways, but I've just done it where I've just zigzag top stitched around. Because we were saying for these ones it's not too bad, but for the little numbers and the days and the months, it's so fiddly to get your fingers in there. Because like you were saying, I think this is meant to be a little border.
Yeah, possibly, but that's a choice, isn't it? So you can either sew them right sides together and then turn them out by leaving a little hole, or you sew them wrong sides together. Just depends, really, doesn't
Depends
it?
how much patience you've
How
got.
much patience you have.
And I have very little.
But they work really well the way you've done it.
Yeah.
I mean, and there is no right and wrong way. It's just which way you fancy doing
I
it.
think if you do them all the same, you're
Yes,
all
try and
alright.
do them all the same because
Yeah.
it will look a bit rubbish.
Don't give
otherwise.
up halfway.
No. Yeah, if you've gone for the other way, that's up to you. So you cut the backing fabric.
I've cut the backing fabric and the symbol the same size, completely the
Right.
same size, and then a little bit of wadding. They've all got a little bit of wadding in, just to give them a little bit of texture and a little bit of
Yes.
something about them, so they don't flop about as well. And I've cut it just slightly smaller so that when you do zigzag round, you sometimes get all the fluffy bits poking out and things like that.
So just a tiny bit smaller.
Just can look a little bit messy. But first of all, what you want to do is on your lining fabric, and obviously it doesn't matter if it's a plain colour like this, doesn't matter what side you use it on, and try and position your Velcro. Obviously I've done it with the
loop.
the loop. Couldn't
That's
think
the
of what
soft
it
one.
was then.
The loop's the fluffy one,
There
and
we
the
go.
hook is the sort of more plasticky one.
So just try and get it in the middle. And again, if you weren't that confident, you could glue it or hand sew it if you wanted to. And you could even just do like a little cross if you wanted to.
Yeah,
or
that's true.
something
It's only
like
to
that.
just hold it in place, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you are intending on using it quite a lot, then why is it not working?
Yeah, I guess if you've got children using it as well and they're pulling them on and off, particularly if maybe you've got it in a school or a classroom, it's got to be very secure.
Don't know. There's my scissors.
I'm not
again.
repeating that one, Paul. We've got Paul in today with his jokes. He said it's a good price for hook and loop tape because it's normally a rip-off. Ha! Ha ha!
Why is it not working?
That was a real dad joke. But he is 40 next year, so that was a dad joke.
Do you have any ideas? The machine's not moving forward anymore.
It's not moving forward.
No, the foot's not. I've got a little bit of scrap. We'll
Try turning it off and on at the wall. Is it plugged in properly? Is it pushed? No, but is it pushed in? Is the plug pushed in all the way?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening. We'll have another go. There we are.
Off and on always
turn it
works.
off and on.
Yeah. Well, and then that'll be £30, please, for the call out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they go, what did you do? Well, yeah, I just yeah.
I'm an expert, you wouldn't
Yeah,
understand.
I can't explain, you wouldn't
Yeah.
understand, so turn off and on. Some people call it a soft reboot. Just means turn it off and on.
Yeah, fancy words. Just tell me what you want me to do. There we are.
So if you've made a What's the Weather wall hanging, send us in a picture. We'd love to see it because everyone does theirs slightly differently.
Yeah.
Some people have bound them, some people have quilted them, some people have add buttons and embroidery and all sorts
Yeah,
to
you
them.
could.
So
Yeah, you could personalise
send us a
it,
picture
couldn't
to
you?
studio@sewingstreet.com.
Yeah, that'd be cute. So you've got your little bit of Velcro on there now.
Yeah.
Lovely. And then because you don't have to turn anything inside out, you can just make it as a sandwich. So Velcro on the bottom with your lining, not lining, backing fabric,
Bit of wadding.
bit of wadding. And
So
then
did you cut out all your lining fabric first so you had enough for the back? Or
no,
was there just loads?
there was loads and there was even enough. I've used the same fabric for
For the
the
you
backing.
will get the chambray colour with that blue and yellow.
yeah. But I didn't realise that. To be
No,
fair.
that's fine, but you actually have had enough to do both.
That's what I was just going to say. I managed to do the sample one and
Yes,
this
so
one
you've done the
now.
bright one using that and you're using the same one for this one and there's still enough.
Yeah, and enough to
Marvellous.
make all the backing for all the little bits.
Wow.
And the what do you call
The loops.
the loops?
The
Can't
loops,
think
the
of-
hanging loops.
Yeah, the
So-
hanging loops. Yeah. So there's way
So
more
you
and
don't
more
really
fabric
need
as
to,
well.
yeah, sometimes when you haven't got quite enough fabric, you really need to cut it all out in advance. But
Yeah.
you're fine.
Right, now I've got to work out how to do zigzag on this machine because I don't know. Do I just press that?
I'm not sure without seeing it.
We'll have a go.
Have a go.
If not, you know what I mean.
I don't know which one it is.
There we are.
Lovely.
We're
So
on
you
the way.
just zigzag then all the way around the edge.
Literally just zigzag around the edge, but make sure to kind of catch. Don't know if you can see that there. I'll wait till I've done another row. To catch the edge in so that it stops it fraying as much as possible because it is a cotton. It will want to fray. But if you just catch the edge in, it's not as bad.
Okay,
Kind
so
of overlocks it.
So you just need to get it so it... Oh, we can see, yeah. So it's just as the edge. So it's just a plain zigzag, you don't need any fancy overlockers. or
That's it,
anything.
yeah. If you did have an overlocker, I suppose, go for it. Or even if you wanted to fold the edges under and still do a top stitch
Yeah,
that
that's
way.
true. So yeah, so you could sew it right sides together and turn it out. You could fold the edges under and top stitch. You can zigzag it like this.
Yep.
You could use a really bright thread.
Yeah.
You could overlock it, use a metallic thread.
Oh, we love a metallic thread.
Variegated thread, all sorts.
And if there are any little bits and bobs, just neaten it up. And you're away to go. There you are. Nice and neat.
Lovely.
And a little padded as well. So
and
it's like
nice
a
little
cushion.
padded. So if you wanted you to add any embellishments, you could do that as well.
Yeah. Even if you wanted to like embroider on the little bits and bobs, like you could embroider or hand stitch like over the top of anything,
Yeah.
or just to make it extra personal as well, I guess. And then so you do that for all of them. It does take a little bit of time, but labour
Do
of
that
love.
with all of them, all the numbers and all the months. So you could
Yeah.
do like a little production line, can't you? Cut them all out,
Yeah,
pin them all together, sew them all.
that's what I did. It's easier that way.
Yeah.
And if you do have somebody to help you, I guess they could cut everything while you're
Yes.
sewing.
Yes.
Get your kids into
Get
it if
someone
they're
else
gonna,
doing
if
the,
they're gonna do it with
go,
you.
Yeah, you cut it.
I
Mummy
know.
will sew it.
I should have got my mum to help, shouldn't I? And then what I did was, you don't have to do this again because there's no instructions. You kind of make it up as you go,
Which
and
is
you
fab.
can.
Sometimes that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, but I just go with the flow, have fun with it, and then I just quilted. So after this, I put the wadding on the back, just cut it to exactly the same size as the panel, and I've just quilted round each of the
Oh, the areas.
little boxes, just so that it's more secure on there. Because if you pulling the Velcro off,
Yeah,
you
I
don't
think
want
so.
it to come away and
Yeah,
start
no, and
to
that holds it a bit tighter,
sag
doesn't
and things. Yeah, so it's just nice and neat that
So
way.
I guess
really.
you could personalise it at this stage if you wanted to put your child's name on.
Yeah,
You could
100%.
put that at the top, I guess. Embroider it in the middle of the cloud. Or...
Yeah, there's plenty of space, or even on the hanging loops or anything
yeah,
like
that's
that if
true.
you wanted to.
Yeah.
Just go for it. And then with the lining, I keep saying lining.
The backing.
I'm not used to making bags and things. With the backing, just cut it again exactly the same size. And I mean, you could even do something on the back of there if you wanted to, but I guess it'd be against a wall or something, maybe.
Yeah. And then what do you do? Then you sew it together?
Yes, but before you make
Sorry. I'm jumping ahead.
know,
We've got to make some loops
hold
first.
your horses.
Hold your horses. Got to hang this thing up.
You could do this again anyway. You could make little ones. You could make one long strip for
Yeah.
it to go through, or just even some like ribbon or something like that if you wanted to.
True.
But
Yeah.
again, there was enough of the backing fabric to make these little loops again. And I just cut these all the same size. I don't even know what size they are, to be fair. I think they were 3.5 inches wide by, I don't even know how long, because I
Just cut them.
did it as is. Yeah.
So as it looks. Well, it depends where you're going to hang it. So, you know, if you've got a pole that you can hang it on, or
Yeah.
you could just pin it up, couldn't you? Because it's not heavy.
No, it's not heavy at all. And it's
I
absolutely
guess
fine.
it's just if you're going to keep pulling off all the pieces, it needs to be
It
slightly
needs to be a bit
secure,
durable,
doesn't it?
yeah. So I just cut 3 of these exactly the same size, and then and just sewed 2 straight stitches down either side. But you need them to be a bit longer, like twice the length that you want, because obviously you're going to loop it over.
Right. So what length you've got to take? If you just can you just there's a tape measure hanging up behind you? No, there's a behind the books.
Oh.
Just in case anyone's thinking, I don't know what length
I don't know
to
what
do
to
that.
do. In centimetres, 25 centimetres by 8 centimetres.
Okay.
This is once it's sewed, so 9.5 inches by 3 inches.
Right, okay. But obviously you need to cut it wider than that
Yeah.
to make it, but that was the finished size. Well, it's good to have a starting point, I was thinking, then if you want to make them short or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's nice to have some
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
vague idea anyway.
So I'll just turn my little iron on. Dead easy to make again though. So once you've flipped it inside, and the good thing is both of your unfinished edges will be inside, so you
Right.
don't have to sew them, so it's so much easier to flip the right way around. And once you've flipped it, all you need to do is try and press it flat, nice and neat. And then what you do is just top stitch down the edge. You don't have to top stitch, but I always think it just makes it a little bit neater. And again, more durable if it's hanging up for a long time.
Yeah, well, it just adds a bit. And if if you're not very confident about top stitching, that's fine. Just use the same colour thread. If you want to do a bit of contrast, you can then use a different colour. But the top stitching decorates, but it also holds it down as well.
Yeah. So just a quick little press. But you could definitely get all of this done within a day. I managed to. I think it took me maybe about 5 hours or something.
Okay.
Start to finish, and that was with cutting everything
Wow,
as
and that was
well.
all the little labels and pieces as well.
Yeah, and I was just doing it on my own. So if you did actually have
Have some
someone
little
to help
helpers.
you.
But it is a nice activity
You'd be on your
you know,
way.
to do with, because there's so many different elements to it. So you could do it with children
Mm-hmm.
and just choose what bit they did.
Yep, completely. So, I've just got a little bit of fluff on this now, but you just sew a straight stitch once again down both edges. But once I get it back onto. There we are. Just down the other side.
Yeah, that makes it just look, gives it a more professional finish, doesn't it? I quite
Yeah,
like that.
definitely.
Especially because you've done it in white as well, it really stands out. It's quite nice.
If you've got sturdy hands, you're all right.
Just go slow.
Just go slow. There we are. So you've got nice
So you've got to make 3 of them.
3 lovely little panels.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then for this, obviously, you've already attached your wadding, so you have no problem about that because you've already done this, so you don't have to worry about your wadding moving around. So I guess it's another good thing about quilting,
Yes.
all the bits and bobs. And then if you've cut the backing fabric,
Mm-hmm.
and what you need to do next, pull this down a little bit. I just folded it in half. Oh, I'll get rid of that for a sec. Folded your sheet in half and just had a little look where, I mean, you could put a pin there, or again, if you had a friction pen,
Just so mark the centre.
just do a little mark where the middle is, yeah. And then you can get it nice and neat
Okay.
for when you put these on. So choose the nicest one to put in the middle and just find the middle of that as well. And obviously, because it's going to be on the outside, once it's flipped, it'll be up like this. So sew it facing the chart.
So with the loop facing downwards. Okay.
Yeah. And then just pin that nicely into place. And then the same with the other 2. I mean, again, it's completely up to you whether you want to do as many loops as you want, make them as big or as small as you want. Might even just do them a little bit further up just so that make sure that they're nice and secure, because I did end up top stitching all the way around as well afterwards, because you have to leave a little gap obviously to turn it all the right way around.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, and I guess you've got to put it in from the edge as well because of the
Yeah.
seam.
There we are.
So that's all the loops on.
All the loops, so they're nicely sandwiched in there. And then grab some more pins. And because it's not very thick at all, it'll go through your sewing machine really easy. And it doesn't matter which edge you sew from either, which side you sew from, I mean.
Ooh, got some lovely new customers joining us today. That's good to see, isn't it?
Oh, hello.
And maybe you have inspired them
Good.
with your wall hanging.
Summer holidays, everyone
Well, it is
needs something
exclusive
to
to us,
do.
but it is always lovely. You know, I know we are a shopping channel, but we are actually a lovely sewing family as well. So if you are a new customer today, please join our fans on the Facebook page, Sewing Quarter fan page, because it's wonderful. People always put in loads of posts of things they've done. They've shared what they've made. They've asked questions. We might just be a shopping channel, but we are also a sewing community. Very helpful people. It always makes me laugh whenever I see a question on there. Before you know it, 25 answers.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
How do I do? How do I... You think, oh, I'm not even going to answer then. Everyone else is...
Someone's always willing to help, aren't they? There we go. So I just start at the bottom, just because when you do have to leave a little gap, it's not as noticeable if it's at the bottom and things like that for turning inside out, especially if you are going to like hand stitch it or anything. There we go. Take the pins out as you go. And again, just a straight stitch all around the edge.
So what seam allowance have you used around the edge?
I'm just, what is it, a 1/4 inch?
Oh, okay.
Just so you get a nice straight line, basically. But at least there's no fancy sewing or anything within it at all. Straight stitch and zigzag, that's all you need. And you're away.
I know, so it's really nice, isn't it, for either a beginner's project or a quick one.
Yeah.
And it's nice often, I think, to have a balance of these projects. So, you know, that you have, I think that's why all of us have several projects on the go at once, because you have different ones for different times.
Yeah.
If you've got all day, you think, well, I can do something a bit more complex.
Oh yeah, completely. Especially if it has a rainy day, then you can put your rainy day symbol on it afterwards.
Yeah. I know. Sometimes you think, oh good, it's raining all day.
Yeah.
Shame I've got to stay inside.
Or just put a film on while you're doing it, or just relax and enjoy it. There we go. Almost there.
You just all the way round until you get back to the bottom, and then just leave,
All the way around.
but leave a gap.
Yeah. I usually leave about a 10-20 centimetre gap.
Okay.
Just so that you've got enough to like
Enough
get your hand in there and swizz it around.
We've had a message on an email from Joe. Oh, please may we have a towel that says, oh no, it's raining again, so I'm back off to bed. It's very wet down south this morning. Yeah, well, when I left this morning down south, it was awful. It was just dark and raining.
Ugh.
I think you should have it. It's raining again. I can't go out. I'm sewing.
Yep. Oh, perfect, wouldn't it? So there we are, just a nice little gap there.
Lovely. There's your little gap.
And nice and neat all round
Yeah.
edges. And again, just trim your corners so you get nice, neat corners once you do turn it inside out.
But you keep the loopy bits sticking out. So.
I do, just for when you top stitch, so that there's a bit more to
Oh, then
hold
you're like
on to.
double sewing.
Yeah.
Got it.
So
Yeah, because I guess, you know, it depends on where you're going to use it. It will get pulled about a lot.
yeah, especially if you have kids, because we all know they're a bit.
And if you had it in a school.
Yeah, completely. There's my ball. There we are. I think they'd love it. Even if you assigned like a kid each day or something, that can be their thing to look forward to in the morning.
Yes. Oh, sorry, it was Wendy Orlando who emailed in. Well, Wendy, I hope you're getting on with a bit of crochet is all I can say. She's doing some designing for Yarn Lane. That's the main
Ooh,
thing.
very
So-
nice.
So, yeah, if you're doing crochet, that's fine if you stay in. If not, you can get out. Get out for a walk. Get out in the rain.
Get some fresh air. There we are. So just poke the corners as much as you can. You can use a little tool if you've got one.
I'm sure we used to have something like this in school, and it was like if you'd done something good, whoever sat the quietest got to put the thing up, got to put it up. And
It's like an incentive to be good.
Oh, I
isn't
know,
it?
but you felt like amazing all day. It's like if you had to take the register up to the office. It's like,
Yeah, you're like, yeah,
and
that's me.
pick a friend to take with you. Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
it's the little things.
It is. I know. When you're like 6, that's really important.
You feel like such a big girl, don't
Yeah, yeah, and I can take my friend with me.
you? Yeah, I choose you. Stephanie, come on.
Yeah, Stephanie, come with me.
Yeah,
Oh, God.
there we go. So,
Lovely.
you do have this little mouth here.
Right. Little hole.
Little hole. So once you've top stitched all around there as well, that's basically it.
Okay.
So I'll quickly do that.
So what do? Do you use...
I
press that?
I mean, you can do, but the only problem is with the wadding, I don't know if it'll melt a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, I
It
don't
might- it
know
might
if it
not.
melts. It just goes a bit stiffer for a while. I mean, if I press wadding, I tend to do a little bit maybe cooler because it's polyester wadding. But
But to be
it
honest,
doesn't really melt, but it's best to use a cooler iron.
yeah. To be honest, I haven't needed to do it. I think it's
Okay.
been all
Just
right
finger press
because
it.
I've left about 1 centimetre.
Right.
It hasn't really needed it folds over itself pretty much.
Okay, yeah, no, it looks
And
quite
then-
neat. And you haven't had to trim the wadding either. It goes under quite nicely,
No,
doesn't it?
yeah, because it's not too thick. It's quite nice and easy, and you do actually have a bit of a guide as well with this.
Oh, of course, yeah.
with
'cause
this
you-
yellow line.
Oh, because it
It's
has
quite
got the
nice.
extra lines on it, hasn't it?
Yeah. So just do that nice and neat.
Oh, well, Patricia says the sun's shining. Well, where are you, Patricia?
Oh.
Because we're coming up there.
Yeah,
But she has got thunder forecast.
we're on the way.
And June says it's blue skies and sunshine in Eastbourne. Well, I'm
You
coming
can't
to
pick it,
Eastbourne
can
then.
you?
Nice. But honestly, I did hear, I listened to it was so early, I listened to the farming forecast for the week. That's just after prayer for the day. As you know when you're up too early, when you hear prayer for the day in the farming forecast, you think this is really early.
I've never heard it.
And they did talk about like 26 degrees.
Today?
Not today, but later in the week.
Oh, yeah. There was I'm sure
Yeah,
people were
so I'm
talking
very
about
much looking
another
forward to
heat
my mini
wave.
heat wave. Well, yesterday it was like autumn, wasn't it? It was autumn yesterday. I had a jumper on. It's quite good that you get all these printed lines around the edge because then you've got something to quilt along
Yeah,
or sew along or
exactly.
use as a guideline.
If you're not too good at straight lines, you're winning. All the way up. And then it's just a little bit thicker with these loops in, but because you've left them in, they'll be a lot sturdier
Yeah, but then they're
now.
nice and strong. But remember, if you get the blue and yellow one, you won't get the magenta. It's just Jude's using that from the old
Yeah.
one. You will get the chambray. Just in case you wonder why you haven't got the pink. I mean, you could, well, if they're older children, you could even sew little buttons on these. I mean, you look at some of these seasons ones. There's, you get all those themed buttons. They'd be quite nice, wouldn't they?
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think I would embroider the weather ones as well. I think they'd look nicer.
There we go. And just trim your little threads. And there we have it.
That's nice. That looks lovely.
And then
That's
you get
so quick.
the fun
Then-
little bit
So now you've sewn all your thingies.
thingy-my-bobs. You get to play around with where you want to put them.
Don't let anyone walk off with them.
No.
I wonder when they have these in schools whether some of them end up going home.
Yeah. Where's my number one?
Yeah, but my birthday's then, so I've taken it home. February's disappeared.
Lovely.
That's
though.
brilliant. Brilliant. Lovely. That's lovely. And that's amazing price as well. Well, thank you, Jude. So we will see you back here in an hour for your fat quarter makes.
Yeah.
That's lovely. So let's just pop, we're just going to go back through the kits one more time. Starting with the blue and yellow. So in your blue and yellow kit, you get the whole panel, as we've already seen, that's got the wall hanging on one side and then all the little pieces on the other. It doesn't come with instructions, but it's really simple and you can do it in any way you want. You can do the quick method of zigzagging around the edge, or you can place them right sides together and turn them out. Remember, on the panels as well, you do get the sort of spare white fabric. So if you wanted to put a bit of white fabric behind some of them instead of the colour, you have got that as well. With this one, you get 1 metre of the chambray backing fabric, which you use to back all the little pieces and the back of this, and you can use it for tabs and hanging as well. And you get 1 metre of the hook and loop tape, which has got both sides, the hooks and the loops, luckily. And you sew one on one and one on the other. And you get a metre square, just over a metre square actually, of 2-ounce wadding, which is enough to wad all of the little pieces and the hanging as well. So that's an incredible cost for £19.99. Yeah, because if you think about it, I mean, the metre of fabric would be £7. Yeah, 2-ounce wadding's £4.99. Hook and loop is £1.99. So that's an amazing, you know, and that's £14 already. So you're getting your panel for a £5. That's incredible value for money, isn't it? It's really, I just really like the fact that you get everything in it as well. It just makes life simpler, doesn't it? So that's the blue and yellow colourway. You just have to choose which colourway you fancy. We also, and they are equal, interestingly. Unusual, because you normally get one that wins, but they are neck and neck. So let's look at this one, because you've got to choose now. This is the bright one. So you've just got lots of different colours on here. Remember, really easy to personalise as well. On this top section here, you could embroider the person's name, or put it here, or the name of their class. There's lots of different spaces to put that sort of information on. You've also got, on all of these, you could, if you're going to embroider them or embellish them, if you're going to embroider them, do it before you put them together. If you're going to sew buttons on them, do it after you've assembled them, because it will be easier to sew them without the buttons on. But really useful for that. I mean, you know, it depends how much time you've got. You could embroider over the numbers. There's lots of different ways, you know, make this your own. I think sometimes that's the beauty without the instructions, is you don't feel that you've got to follow them. You can do it however way you want, because you could also flat quilt it and then bind the edges. There's enough fabric there if you wanted to bind them instead. But if you have a look on the Sewing Street website, we've got loads of buttons. So if you want to, you know, make yours really special, depending on how much time you've got. But if you think, you know, maybe you're going to make this as a gift for somebody for Christmas and you've got a bit more time, you can really go to town on it. See, look there, look on the website here. We've got flowers, hearts, cupcakes, butterflies, dogs. Butterflies would be lovely on the summer one, wouldn't it? Unicorns. Oh, look at that. Wow, we've got, oh, look at the fruit and veg. You could put that on the autumn one, because that's got pumpkins on it. But, you know, if you wanted to buy some extra buttons to do it, look at all of the wooden ones. They're lovely. But you could sew those around the chart as well. They don't have, they could be used to decorate the whole of the wall chart as well. You could sew them onto different places. Because when you stick the season into the middle of here, it's only a little square, so you've got space around it that you could embellish as well. And when you've done that, can you send us a picture? Because we'd love to see what you've done. Put it on the fan page. We would love to see how you've made your What is the Weather Today chart. So with the bright one, you get a metre of this lovely magenta. It's 100% cotton. You know, normal quilting weight, good quality quilting weight, fabric, Rose and Hubble, 44 inches width metre. So you get that, and you get the metre of hook and loop tape, which, as Jude explained, was more than enough. And you get the pack of 2-ounce wadding. Exactly the same. Loads there for £19.99. Just got to choose. Do you want bright, or do you want blue and yellow? Or do you want both? But if you want some other things to make with with your children, or maybe you want to make something, someone's got a new baby arriving and you think, oh, I don't know what to make for them. We've got these lovely squares. I'm going to do the pastel one. We'll do them in reverse order. Not of popularity, but of what I did it in the beginning. I love the colourway in this one. So this is the pastel alphabet wall hanging, but it's not sort of really pale pastel, it's pretty pastel. And they've all got a different print in the background. So, you know, you've got like grids on this one, little hearts on that one, lines, wavy lines, dots. It's so pretty. So again, because this is the whole alphabet, this makes a lovely wall hanging for a nursery or a children's room or a cot quilt. And it's completely exclusive to us. Beautiful, isn't it? But it would make or, you know, like a play mat. So you've got someone who's having a baby or has got one that's just been born. You know, if you wanted to make it for a play mat for someone, it's beautiful, isn't it? Changing mat. So, you know, when you take your baby out and you've got to lay it on the floor to change it, you can really show off with this. And very simple as well. All you need is the fabric behind it, some wadding, quilt just along the lines to keep it simple. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. Excuse me. Oh, don't know where that came from. Right, maybe it was dusty. Right, that's the pastel one. But we also do it in the bright one. Oh no, this one's called multi. No, this one's called multi actually, not bright. Yeah, it's not super, it's not primary bright, which is quite like it. It's a little bit more tasteful. I love this one. It's very, very trendy at the moment, this kind of colourway, isn't it? The sort of the neutrals and the plainness. You know, the primary sort of colourway seem to be going out a bit. So that pastel one that's a bit brighter pastel and this that's a little bit more muted. I think this would make a beautiful play mat. You know, if you keep it folded up in your changing bag and you just want something to change the baby on, or you're going somewhere and you just want to lie the baby down, this is perfect, isn't it? But again, you know, you can use it for personalising things. So if you could cut them and sew them together and you could personalise a bag, you could put the whole name on, or you could just use the individual initials. So if you've got a birthday party and you want to make some party bags for them, so you could, you know, if you use that you've got Freddie come into your party, you cut that out and then use a square fabric on the back. You can make a little drawstring bag or put some little handles on it. Lovely for a changing bag, or, you know, a sort of a dirty washing bag. So you could put a drawstring top on it. It could be really, really simple, but there's got so much. And then at the bottom as well, you've got an ampersand and a hashtag that way round. I think this is my favourite colourway. It's really nice. Quite just a bit more tasteful, isn't it? So loads and loads of different things. And I always think, you know, when someone's having a new baby or not, you don't have to make it for the new baby, but after it's been born, it's really nice to give them a handmade gift because they get so many other things and not many people would make them a quilt. So do it. And then finally, this panel here, which is really big, so it's quite hard to get out. There are 16 2.5 inch, like your normal design roll strips, except these are 55 inches long. So is that our special surprise? Okay. So if you like design rolls and you like Moda, and you like $14.99, then that's a special surprise. I'm not allowed to say any more than that, but make sure you join us in the next hour. So if anything you've seen in this hour, if you go on to sewingstreet.com, click on Watch Live and scroll down from there, you will see all the products, because I know you've got to choose between your brights and your pastels and everything. But thank you for joining us in this hour. I will see you back here in a couple of minutes. And don't forget, Moda, $14.99, and I'll see you here soon. Are you a fan of Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? Why not join our growing Facebook fans pages? Just search Sewing Street Fans and Yarn Lane TV Fans on Facebook and click Join Group. It's that simple. Never miss out on the latest news and updates from our presenters and guest designers, special offers and plenty of chat with your fellow fans. Share photos of your makes, ask for advice, interact with your favourite guests and presenters and be a part of the ever-growing sewing and yarn community. See you there!
Follow Sewing Street and Yarn Lane on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with what's coming up on the show, as well as being the first to know about our amazing offers. Get involved with our competitions that are exclusive to social media. And pick up some top tips from us too.
We know that shopping online can be a confusing and sometimes daunting task, and sometimes all you want to do is talk to a human being. Well, our family-run customer service team are on call 24/7. They're full of friendly, warm-hearted individuals, all trained to make your shopping experience as easy and as enjoyable as possible. And not only will they take your order, they will also help and guide you on your shopping journey, so you never miss out.
Hi there, my name's Alison Marion and I'm thrilled to be joining the Sewing Street family. I live in Staffordshire where I run a couple of sewing groups and I have a passion for vintage sewing machines and also applique. I've stitched in some form for as long as I can remember, but I absolutely love teaching and helping people stretch their skills and hopefully demystifying some of the techniques that can be quite daunting for beginners. So I'm looking forward to meeting the team and getting into the studio. See you soon.
Sewing Street have our very own app. You can now watch and shop from anywhere. Simply download the app from your app store onto your smartphone or tablet, then log in or create an account, and you're done. You can watch us live from anywhere, browse all our recently played items and pre-orders so you never miss out on any show deals, and message the studio to say hello at any time. And remember, you can check out as many times as you want and only pay 1 P&P all day.
If you're a Sewing Street or Yarn Lane customer, no matter how many times you check out in one day, you will only pay 1 postage and packaging. So don't wait to add the item you want to your basket and check out. You will only pay 1 P&P even if you check out multiple times in one day.
Keep up to date with what's on Sewing Street and Yarn Lane, as well as all the latest news and special offers by signing up to our email newsletters. For Sewing Street, head on over to www.sewingstreet.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and you're done. It's exactly the same for Yarn Lane. Head on over to www.yarnlane.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and that's it. You are now subscribed to both Sewing Street's and Yarn Lane's email newsletters, so you'll never miss out on the latest news and special offers ever again.
If you'd like to get in touch with us during our live show and send in any messages or any questions, then you can do it on studio@sewingstreet.com. Alternatively, you can message us on our official Facebook page.
Follow Sewing Street and Yarn Lane on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with what's coming up on the show, as well as being the first to know about our amazing offers. Get involved with our competitions that are exclusive to social media. And pick up some top tips from us too.
Welcome back to Sewing Street. So we've got a whole shop for you, a little sewing shop of gorgeousness here, and there's so many things. I've just put them all onto the table, don't even know where to start really, but we've got What should we start with? I'll ask Kat. So we're going to start with, just listen to Kat, sorry. Our brand new, just arrived in the warehouse, so I haven't got them here to show you yet, Moda scrap bags. Now, any of you who know Moda scrap bags will know just the fantastic value of these. They are amazing. So in the bag for $14.99, you will get a random selection of 40 strips of various Moda fabrics. Now, they're all your 2.5 inches wide, so like your normal design roll strips. Most of them will be the full selvage to selvage of 44 inches. Can't guarantee all of them, but most of them will. This is what they look like. They come in little brown paper bags. You've seen them. You've seen those brown bags. I'm hoping to get some up from the warehouse during the hour so that I can show you, but they have just literally just arrived and went, oh wow, we need to put those on air. $14.99. They are fantastic value. You've seen them on the fans page. People talk about them all the time. You've seen loads of people have made lots of different things with them. You know, bearing in mind a Moda design roll would normally cost $44.99 normally. Obviously, you know, this is surprise, so you don't know what you're going to get in it. The only thing you can guarantee is that you will get 40 strips and they will all be by Moda, but it's only $14.99. So sometimes you're lucky, you get a few plains, you get a few prints, you get all different things, and they do try to put together some kind of selection of what will work together, but $14.99 instead of $44.99. We were going to wait till tomorrow so that we could get them up here, but we were just too excited. Well, I think Kat was too excited. So ended up just, you know, they're on air now. If we can get them up from the warehouse between now and the end of the hour, at the end of the show, I will show some to you. But they have just arrived. So hot off the press, Moda scrap bags, $14.99. Hayley ran in screaming, do you want these? Do you want these? We've just arrived. Well, oh, go on then. Go on then. We will. So they are always massively popular. So we wanted to bring them to you as soon as we got them. $14.99. Normal price would be $44.99. So the last time we had these on air, we had over 1,000 of them. Sadly, we don't have many this time, but they sold out. Very, very quickly, because this is an amazing, we don't get them very often, because I guess they have to build up enough fabric to be able to cut them up. We don't get them very often, so please don't miss out. Put them in your basket and check out. We've got people buying multiples of them. You know, if you were with me at 8 o'clock and we were going through the different books that you can use design rolls for, there were several quilts in there that used beautiful quilts. If we've still got any of the books, go and have a look on the 8 o'clock out. They were $8.99 for 9 different design roll quilts, so that's only £1 per design, and some of them use one design roll, sometimes use 2 or 3. So if you are multiplying and you want some ideas of what to do, I love that book. There we go. Oh, there's the book, Time Saving Quilts with 2.5 inch strips. Perfect. And a lot of the quilts in that book were quite random, using all different sort of colours. You know, there was some that was very sort of bright primary, real mismatch. So if you want some inspiration, that's a great book. I liked that one. But anyway, please do put them in your basket and check out. So anyone who's already got theirs, message in. If you've made something with yours in the past, let us know. We'd love to see what you did with it. But they are the most fantastic value for money. And we don't get them very often. But when we do, we know that you love them. So we've got them on air. Right, so must have been, what, the beginning of July? Hey, it's arrived. Hooray! Oh, we've got 2. Oh, it's either that or it's my sandwiches. No, it's the scrap bag. Can I open it? Yeah. Woo. Oh, carefully. Oh, well, if I don't open it very carefully, it looks like this one's mine. So they are sellotaped down. $14.99, it could be mine. So look, they come in this lovely little bag, packaged by Moda. Look, even like a proper design roll. It's not just like one of our plastic bags with everything thrown in. Should we have a little look? Shh. 100 have already gone. $14.99. So look, this is one of them. Look, I can't believe this is only $14.99. Let's have a look. Now, obviously, they're all going to be different. You're not going to get this one, but, well, you might get similar ones. But this is all beautiful, beautiful Moda fabric. Can you believe this is only $14.99? Actually, see, look at these. These all go together, you know. But obviously, you don't need to make a quilt with yours. If you're thinking, oh, I want to make a few little things from strips, I want to use them for binding, all different things, then, you know, you could just use them for separate things. But if you want a scrappy quilt, Moda fabric, $14.99. Honestly, these would be normal price, $44.99. I like that one. That's nice, isn't it? But anyway, that's just an example of what you get in them. And they all come rolled up with an elastic band, which means this is really good Christmas gift. You imagine if you gave this to somebody, they'll think you spent $44.99, and they come in this lovely little. It's like a posh sandwich bag, isn't it? We'll just have a little look at the other. So that's one of them. Should we just have a look at the other? This is two at random that the warehouse have just rushed over to us because they've only just arrived. Let's have a look at these. And this one, ooh, this is green. I love the idea that you'll order it, and what a surprise. I mean, all Moda fabric's beautiful. But actually, this is quite interesting because it does have a colourway to it, doesn't it? These are all from Moda Folktales. Lovely, aren't they? Greens. I think there's a bit of Halloween in here. Look, there's a pumpkin. Oh, pumpkin and a cat. But you don't know which one you're going to get. But there is certainly a colourway theme here. Oh, I love the pumpkin cat one. I hope I get that one. So this is more autumnal. So who knows what you'll get? But you do know that you will get 40, and they will be 2.5 inches wide, and they will all be Moda. They don't mix other stuff in it. It is a Moda scrap bag. And they are all 2.5 inches wide, so proper. And the length of them is all your selvage to selvage, so 44 inches. Most of them, I mean, there might be the odd one that isn't, just depending on what the fabric you use, but most of them will be the 44-inch width. Right, we've sold 150 now. But if you're thinking, I want to make a quilt, get 2 of these, buy the book, lovely. That's gorgeous. I just love the packaging because it looks lovely, doesn't it? Little scrap bag. Anyway, oh look. No, these have all come straight from Moda. We haven't done this. Moda, good to the last swatch. £0.5, but it is 40 of them. Oh, let me turn it that way. So they are all, yeah, they're not the end of our Moda stock. We buy these from Moda, so we can guarantee that they are the Moda design rolls. But $14.99, honestly, these would be $44.99 if they weren't scrap bags. We've got a message from Susan on Facebook. What does she say? Just ordered another scrap bag. I have loved the ones I've had before. I love the surprise of opening it. Well, yeah, you know, I mean, for $14.99, it's lovely, isn't it? And sometimes, because you're never really sure, I don't know what to make, don't know what to do, let the fabric inspire. Let someone else make the decision and choose the colours and the prints for you. And it can be a lovely surprise, and you can make whatever you like then. So congratulations to everyone who has got theirs. There are lots of you multi-buying, and remember, we don't get them in that often, but when we do, they fly out. So, and these are hot off the warehouse trolley. Oh, there's people buying 4 and 5. Because when you think because at some places will only let you have 1 per customer, but you can buy as many as you want, we don't mind. When they're gone, they're gone. But really, you're getting 3 for the price of 1. If it was, yeah, so because 3 of these would be the same price as the one at full price. And it is all Moda fabric. 200 are gone. Put them in your basket, quick, have them. Except for these 2. We'll have these because I've unrolled them. But they are lovely, aren't they? And there's so many different things you can do. But if you want some ideas, That book is really good, and it's only £8.99, and there are 9 quilts in it. So pop that in your basket as well and make yourself a quilt. So there's your motor scrap bags. Put them in your basket, and don't forget, please check out, because if you don't check out, somebody else will have it. I know, well, we're hoping to put them into tomorrow's show, but I think they may well sell out today. And the last time we had them for £14.99, it was an early bird. Was it an early bird? Yeah, Kat's saying that she thinks it was an early bird. Have we got the wrong price? They're not supposed to be £49. Look, just get it in your basket and check out. We might have the wrong price. Because that is an absolute bargain, isn't it? When you think the full price would be £44.99. Very excited they're back up. So if you haven't shopped with us before, or you're new to Sewing Street and you just stumbled across us, welcome to the Sewing Street family. We are all about sewing, whether it's hand sewing, home sewing, dressmaking, patchwork, quilting, embroidery, whatever. That's what we're all about. Please join the Sewing Street fan page on Facebook. Amazingly helpful, wonderful bunch of people. I was just saying to Jude earlier, people put a question on there saying, do you know what this is? Or they'll put a picture of their sewing going, where's my machine going wrong? And before you know it, they've got like 25 answers and everybody's worked it out for them. So welcome to the Sewing Street family. If you've just joined, I want to move that, get yourself a scrap bag, £14.99. 1 P&P per day, it's only £3.95. Doesn't matter how much you buy, whether you buy one thing or 300 things. It will still only be £3.95. Anything that you buy between now and midnight, but you must check out. Now, you can check out as many times as you want. You will still only get charged one. I know there are some places where every time you check out, the P&P goes back on. We don't do that. We know that you've only checked out once. And the P&P applies to both Sewing Street and Yarn Lane. So if you buy a scrap bag for us now and a new knitted cardigan kit at 12 o'clock, it will still only be £3.95. But have a look on the website. If you don't want to shop on the website, if you click on Watch Now, then underneath that is all the products we've listed today. Or you can just go into the search sections of all the other things we sell, because we obviously have a lot of things to sell that we're not just featuring today. But if you want to speak to a real human being, just down the road, family-run call centre, completely free, very lovely, friendly people. Number is on the screen, 0800 001 4433. They will take your order over the phone and will answer any of your questions too. But if you've got anything that you want to ask us, please message us at the studio@sewingstreet.com, and Kat will read me the message and we will try our best to answer it. And send us pictures in them, because we like that. We like pictures. Well, I think you all like seeing pictures of everyone else's things. So you love it when you all post on the fan page on Facebook. But on air, you love seeing the pictures of everybody else's things. So please share. Tell us what you got in your scrap bag and what you're going to make with it. Or you like me and you go, I know what I'm going to make with it. No, I don't. No, and then you change your mind all the time. Yeah, buy yourself one, wrap it up, and then on Christmas Day, don't look at it. Just wrap it up. It'll be a surprise. It'll be lovely. We're very limited on these now, so I put them on the side of the table. I'll let you know when they've sold out, but please, please, if you put it in your basket, do check out. But we'll just move them to one side. Right, what should we do next that's so exciting? Let's stick with pre-cut fabric, because we had a lot of pre-cut fabric in the 8 o'clock hour, but we didn't manage to get. So let's do the natural fat quarter pack, which is this one. So in this one, you get 1, 2, 3 fat quarters, 4, 4, 4, not 3. Oh yes, 1, 2. So I love this. We've done this one before. So you get like a really heavyweight calico that's good for sort of bags. You get a lightweight calico that's good for like embroidery. You get like a jute Hessian type fabric, like a linen, and then you get a proper Hessian fabric. If I turn it over, you can see that better. So it's a lovely sort of real natural, not just natural colour, but natural fabrics as well. So 2 calicos, a jute and a Hessian. For only £8.99. Beautiful for making gift bags, that's what I would say, of all different sorts. I mean, because you can mix, you know, these look beautiful mixed and matched with the Moda prints as well. So if you've got a scrap bag and you want a bit of plain fabric to go with it, it's nice that you've got the different weights as well. It smells nice as well. It smells of Hessian. I love the smell of Hessian. It's that real sort of natural, like, flour sack feel to it, doesn't it? But £8.99 for the Neutrals Fat Quarter pack of 4. Oh, well, let's do my favourite wadding, because we got this the other week. I didn't even know we did it, so I was very excited when we did it. This is pure wool wadding, which is fab. So obviously, it's not wadding, it's soft toy stuffing. It's not wadding. That was me getting confused. So if you want to stuff toys or cushions and you want to use a wadding, this is 100% wool. Now, the beauty of wool is it's hypoallergenic. So if you've got anyone that has dust allergies at all, wool is perfect. So like my son has terrible dust allergies, so I have to be really careful if I made him toys, or even now with his duvets and his pillowcases, can't have anything feathers, and even polyester is not always brilliant, but wool is great. It's also cool and warm, so warm in winter and cool in the summer. But for the price, £5.99 for the pack, and it is 100% wool. So if you wanted it, it feels really nice as well, and it absorbs moisture, which is lovely, isn't it? So it's brilliant. Brilliant for dust mites because they don't live in it. 250 grams in here, but it's lovely, and we haven't ever done wool toy stuffing before. So I know a lot of you, in particular, you know, when you're making soft toys, whether they're sewn ones or knitted ones or crocheted ones, it's nice to use something really natural, particularly if you're making baby ones or you're not sure about people with different allergies. We only got this in first at the very end of July, but it is extremely soft. And obviously you can wash it as well. And it's very eco-friendly because it's actually biodegradable. So it eventually, it would just will rot away, and it's made in Britain as well. But lovely. If you want to buy some some soft toy stuffing or something like that, then the wool is really, really good. But I know there are some people who are allergic to wool as well, but we have this another one. So if you're allergic to wool and you want something that's a bit puffier, this is made by the same people, but this is actually recycled. So it's made from bottles, plastic bottles. But so it's the same, it's the same weight, 250 grams, but there's kind of more of it. So this is made in West Yorkshire as well, from plastic bottles, and obviously you can use it for toys and cushions. So it is polyester. So again, any kind of allergies, this is really, whether if you're allergic to wool or whatever, this is perfect. But nice though, nice that it's made from recycled stuff, that it used to be a plastic bottle and now it's being used for something else, because, we all put all our stuff in the recycling. So it's lovely when you see products that have actually been made from all the things you put in the recycling. So that's 2 choices, a very eco-friendly wadding and good for allergies too. You just have to choose whether you want wool or whether you want plastic bottles. And this one is £4.99. They both weigh the same, but one's wool. Yeah, they do. Yeah, so the wool is denser. So you maybe think about what you're stuffing it with, and then the plastic woolen is lighter, more puffier. Is that a word? Puffier. So that's those 2. Bosal. Am I right? Oh yeah, all of the Bosals. Right, I have 3 different Bosals for you. This one is DRM 484. Should we get it out? So this is sew-in interfacing. Now, this is like foam, let me open it all up, foam interfacing. So it's not iron-on, but this is sew-in. Now, this is amazing stuff because it gives structure to things, but you can still sew through it, which is unbelievable. I made a cat house out of this once. Well, I used it to make the frame of the cat house, and I had fabric on the front and fabric on the back, and it's stiff enough that it will hold the shape of something, so it's really good for bag making. So maybe you're making like an overnight weekend bag, like one of those bowling bags that has a real structure to it, and it feels very thick, or a cat house, but it sews through beautifully. Not sure how it's made or why that works, but it does sew through. It's the only thing, if you think I want to add some stiffness or structure, you can use a heavyweight interfacing, but that makes it stiff but not flexible, but this is incredibly flexible, like you can roll it up, but it's really good for structured bags, or sort of anything 3D that you want to make. So this is 150 centimetres wide, so it is cut for you. This is a half a metre, so it's £10.99 for half a metre, but if you want more than that, so if you're making a really big project, it is cut to order, so if you order a metre piece, if you order 2 units, you will be sent it as a whole metre, because it is cut to order. But it's one of those things when you see that people have used it in bag making, it gives a real professional finish that you wouldn't be able to see without it. So it's a specialist material, but it's very good. But this is the sew-in one, because it comes in various different ones. You'll often hear it, its generic term is foam interfacing, but this one is made by Bosal. So if you see anything that says foam interfacing, then that's what this is, but that's the sew-in one. The next one, the code on that one is ZSM486. So this is double-sided iron-on fusible. So this is great. So it's the same thing, it's the foam interfacing, but it is fusible on both sides. So if you're making well, like a bag, or maybe, you want to fuse the lining, or maybe you're using something like placemats and you want to be able to, you can put the fabric on one side and press and it will stick, and then the fabric on the other side, so it's fusible on both sides. So it just depends what you're doing with it as to which one you choose. Now again, this one is 150 centimetres wide, it's £11.99 by a half metre. It is cut to order, so if you want more, it will be sent as one cut piece. So you just need to decide what you're going to do with it. And a lot of patterns will specify foam interfacing or foam fusible, or it'll say Bosal. You just need to decide what you want to do and whether you want to iron it on both sides. But it is lovely and stiff. It's really hard to describe because it's stiff, but it's flexible as well. So if you've got it as a bag, it will stay upright. But then if you wanted to fold the bag up, it would fold and then it comes back out again. It's amazing stuff, amazing. And if you've not used it before, I always keep a half a metre of this in, because I use it for lots of different things. I've made things like craft storage bags, when you make those circular storage buckets and you want them to stand up, or the storage baskets, that are cubes, just sort of 4 sides and a base. This is perfect for that because it's soft, but you have the structure with it as well. And then the final one is fused exactly the same, but it's fusible on one side only. This is probably our most popular, and it was an early bird, so it's only £9.99. So exactly the same, and you can see they all look exactly the same, but this is fusible on one side. So you can see there's shiny on one side, and then if I turn it over, you can see it's matte on the other side. Still 150 centimetres wide and cut off the bolt. So if you want, say 1.5 metres because you're making a big bag from it, it will put 3 units in, and you will have it sent as one cut piece. But this is an early bird. But this is a really good thing. So you just need to decide, do you want it sew-in, do you want it fusible on one side or fusible on both sides? If you just look on the website at the descriptions, it will explain what you need to do. It's just, if you're doing smaller pieces, it's easier, I think, with the fusible because you can press it into place and then sew it. You can also quilt through it, and it quilts beautifully because it gives very, very pronounced lines on it. So maybe if you were making a bag out of a striped fabric and you quilt and you sew through the lines, it gives a very pronounced quilting, much more than you'd get with the wadding. So it's very effective. The single-sided is the most popular, not just today, but just in general. But you will often see, if you think, right, I want to make a bag or a storage cube or a craft bucket, or even just like a little cosmetic bag, but you want it to be, some of the wash bags are quite structured and solid so that things don't get squished and squashed in your luggage. It's perfect for that. Let's do needles. I love talking about needles. Kat says I've got needles, so I went, oh good, love needles. Hand sewn needles, really, really important to use the right needle for the job. Please don't buy needles that say general sewing needles from the supermarket because they are not actually that useful for many things. Use the right needle for the job. They are fairly inexpensive and it is worth it. So they're all sold individually. So we'll start with chenille. Chenille is an embroidery needle that has a bigger eye. I'm going to move all the others out of the way. A bigger eye than a normal embroidery needle. So it's ideal for embroidering with slightly thicker threads or ribbons, and it has a sharp point. I often, although you're not supposed to, use a chenille when I'm sewing in ends with knitting and crochet. Now, mostly you'd use a tapestry needle for that, but if I'm sewing in ends and it's quite densely crocheted or knitted, I like to use a chenille needle because I find the ends stay in better. So I know a lot of people use tapestry needles, but that is often what I use because it will sort of pierce the fibres of the wool that you're sewing into easier. But very good for thicker embroidery. If you, I'm just trying to see which next one. Now, milliners, very misunderstood and underused needle, but this has become my go-to needle at the moment for, obviously originally used for hat making, that's why it's called millers and straw. Paul says he's misunderstood and misunderused. I'm just going to start calling him milliners. But I use them a lot for EPP and general hand sewing. They are sharp, they have small eyes, but they're long. They're much longer. So when you're sewing together EPP, I always used to use a betweens needle for it, but then I kept piercing the end of my fingers. But with the length of them, you've just got more to hold on to and more grip. They are brilliant, but also for any hand stitching like hemming. I think they aren't just used for hat making, they are perfect for general hand sewing. The eyes, because they're longer, the eyes are longer, so they're a little bit easier to thread than a normal sharps needle. So I've got the sharps. There's the sharps. Now again, I mean, they are just as fine as the milliners, but because they're shorter and they are extra sharp, they are really good. This is what your general hand sewing needle is. It's just up to you whether you want the longer one. It's better to have both, but if you're doing very, very fine hems where you only really want to pick up 1 or 2 threads because you don't want it to be seen from the front, these are perfect. So when you go to the supermarket, it says general sewing needles. This is what you should be using instead, is sharps. But, you know, £1.49, put it onto the rest of your order. Honestly, using the right needles makes a big difference. The other thing with needles is, as soon, not even that they go black, as soon as when you use a new needle, it will slip through the fabric beautifully. After about 8 hours of sewing, it won't go black just yet, but you will find it's not going through as well. You need to use a new needle. Just changing your needles as often as you can, it makes a massive difference to your sewing. And we talk about changing machine needles, but change your sewing machine needles because the coating they lose and they do get blunter as well. That's why you have packs of them. Otherwise, you'd only ever buy one. These are all mixed packs. That's a pack of 5 to 10. The higher the number, the finer the needle. Don't know why. If you've got any questions, just ask us. Betweens quilting, obviously, these are mainly used for hand quilting because they are very short with little eyes and they're sharp. But again, they are ideal for very fine sewing as well. And you get 20 in there. And they are mixed sizes 3 to 9. The higher number, the finer the needle. Then we're on to leather needles. Love these because they're so specific. They have, if you get in really, really close, you can see that they have chiselled points at the bottom. I don't know whether you'll be able to see them. But they have got like the points on them are chiselled. So they are used for hand sewing on leather, but also PU, oilcloth, anything that's non-woven. So even like heavyweight felts, because they've got that chisel, they actually cut a hole. So if you've ever tried sewing through PU or oilcloth or leather, very hard, but you use a leather needle. You only get 3 in the packet, but for leather or non-woven fabrics, they are the right tool for the job. Then we have beading. Obviously, these are very long and very fine and are used for sewing beads onto things, but you don't just need to use them for that. If you're doing anything that is extremely fine and that you find that any of the other needles aren't fine enough, these are the right ones. They are very bendy, so be careful of them, but they are flexible. But can get these through the hole in a seed bead, which is the most important thing. So if you're sewing beads onto things, this is the needle to have. But remember, they are quite bendy. But that's because they were used for threading lots and lots of beads on, so they needed to be very long. So even if you're threading a bead necklace, you would use these for. But they're fine enough to use with seed beads. And the final one is tapestry needle, exactly the same as a chenille needle, except they have a blunt point. So these are sizes 18 to 24, so they can be used for cross stitch, but they can also be used for needlepoint with wool, and also the larger ones are really good for darning or for sewing in ends when you're doing knitting and crochet and you need to sew in woolen ends because they have blunt points. But I quite often use chenille needles for that because I find it pierces the yarn better. Question: in the Sharps pack, are the lower numbers the ones that are also shorter? Yes, so the higher the number, the finer the needle. So no, it's the other way around. So the number 10s are the shorter ones and they are finer as well. And the number 5s will be the longer ones and they're thicker as well. So when they go finer, they get shorter. Hopefully that makes sense. And it's all to do with the way that they work out, the sort of tasks that you would do with the finer needles, you'd probably want them shorter. So if you were doing very fine hems, you would probably want them shorter. Whereas if you're sewing something that isn't so fine, you would want them longer because then they're a bit thicker. Okay, that's needles. That's needles. Which one should we do next, Kat? Bags. Should we do our Monstera bags? Start with the big one, not the small one. Love these. These are cheese plant bags. Well, I think they're called tropical leaves, but I think they're cheese plants. Love this one. Look. So, do you know what? This is brilliant for your latest sewing project for putting down the side of the sofa. It's brilliant for storing because it's got, let me show you the bottom. It's got an oval. Was it round? Is it round or round? Rounded, more round than oval, but it's got a round bottom, so like a bucket bag. So you can, great for storing your fabric or yarn stash, but it has a magnetic clasp at the top and the handles. So perfect for taking to the beach or for your shopping, take to the supermarket. Lovely for your craft classes. Yeah, I mean for craft classes it's great, isn't it? But you could use it for just general shopping as well. It's lovely, like jute, heavyweight cotton fabric. So you could embroider on it. Worked really nice to embroider. You know, if you used I would use like a woolen yarn, and you could do a chain stitch up the centre of the stems of the leaves. I'll give you a little show what it looks like on. Nice side, but I like the fact that it's got the round bottom, so it will lie flat when you're on the way to the shop or on the way to your craft class, and then you can fill it up. You've got loads of space in there. You get lots of bottles in there if you're going on a picnic. But I think it's really good for storing things like fabric and yarn, to be honest. Now, if you want a matching clutch, which you can use to store your other sewing insects, they're only $3.99. Only $3.99, and look, it's got pom-poms all the way around it. It's got a zip with a tassel. It's quite big, actually. Look at the size of it. For $3.99, it's an absolute bargain. Again, you can embellish it, lovely as a gift. If you've bought something for somebody as a gift, you could embroider their name on it. Really good. You could keep like your EPP project in there, or your latest bit of embroidery, or if you're doing a bit of crochet, you keep your latest crochet project in there because you could get your crochet hook and yarn in there. I would embellish it though. I think it'd be nice with someone's name on it. But I think embroider the stems and then the lines look lovely. And it's got this it smells a really nice jutey smell as well. Would you like to know how big it is? Because I have a tape measure. I'll tell you how big it is. It is 11 inches wide and 9 inches tall. Nice gift. Put a few fat quarters from your early bird in it, a little bit of thread, pair of scissors. What a nice little gift. Get your whole motor scrap bag in there. I can't believe that's only $3.99. That's an absolute bargain, isn't it? But beautiful gift. If you just draw the person's name on there and embroider over it in a really bright chain stitch, or a bit of metallic gold, look really classy, wouldn't it? And, you know, then it suddenly looks like a $19.99 gift, not a $3.99 gift. I know, I just think that's amazing value, especially comes with tassel as well. And obviously it matches the bag as well. I do like the bag. I think, because you don't often see bags like this with the big round bottoms that will hold, you know, so that you can really hold stuff. It can be your, I'm going to use that for my fabric stash and then take it on a picnic as well. I'll put my little pouch inside. Right, I've got this lovely light for you. Oh, but we have a message first. Message. I use my project pouch to store my mini iron, silicone iron rest and pressing mats in. Fab size, my daughter has borrowed my craft bag. Perfect, what a great idea. I think it's always really useful to have things like that to store specific items in as well. So much easier to find and put away. That's a really good idea, I guess, because it's jute, you know, it's a natural fabric you find to put your iron in. Obviously not when it's really hot, but maybe when it's just a little bit cool. And your pressing mats as well. Oh, yeah, this is Kat's light. She needs it back, so we've got to demonstrate it. So, is it on? Yes. This is from Native Lighting. Now, look, isn't it wonderful? It just has an on-off, but it's very bendy. Can I move it? So, it has a clamp like this, and then you just clamp it to your desk. Now, it comes in white or black. And it's just a really good way of having, because let me show you, there's the light, really bright, so you can see really well, but very directional. So if you're sitting at the table and you're doing some sewing, you can light up your hands there. Hang on, we're just going to dim the lights. Oh, I think that was dimming, lights are dimming. I can't see anything now. I'm all in the dark. So you can see if you want to do something. Look at that. So if you just want to do something there, you can really spotlight onto it. But if you want it more for a general light, you can have it higher up. But it's beautiful because it really angles to exactly where you want it to go. Now, we do it in, this is the white, but it also comes in black. It's such a narrow, for under £50, that's great. Now, Kat always has this one in the studio because she uses it for lighting up her keyboard, so she can really see. And so although it's very small, the light is extremely powerful and it's all LED. So look, so it's not hot. I can touch it, which is really useful because it's obviously metal. This would be really hot. Comes with a 2-year guarantee from Native Lighting, and it has that clamp. Now it comes with a USB cord, but it also comes with a plug too. So you can plug it into a normal socket, or if you want to, you can plug it into a computer. But it's ever so lightweight and it's very directional. So, you know, yes, it's ideal for your craft work and your sewing because you can really bend it to the right place. But it's also a great gift for somebody if you know somebody who works in an office and they struggle with the lighting, or maybe they're out in the garage and they do sort of craft and hobby work. It's great for that because it is very powerful, but it is LED. And you could, because it's USB, some sewing machines have USB ports, so you could plug it into those. And Kat plugs hers into the computer because she hasn't got enough plug sockets. So it's ideal for that as well, because it has that. But when you buy it, yours will come with the plug as well as the USB. I'll show you. So you will get, it comes with the USB, but you will also get the plug as well. But we've just found a plug to put it into. And we've got a review from Derek. Absolutely amazing light for the craft room. Highly recommended. Derek from the Scottish Borders. Perfect. Because it is very strong, but lightweight. And because it's LED, sorry, just plug it in again. Because it's LED, it doesn't get hot, which is really useful. And it is just simple on and off. That's it. And it's got a really nice deep clamp. I mean, our desk here is like a kitchen work surface. And, you know, the fact that it's very Very flexible. You can get into exactly where you want. It's a gooseneck. And when Claire, who owns Native Lighting, when she developed this, she spoke to lots of people, and this was exactly what they wanted. I think particularly for crafters, they wanted that very directional light. Because she, you know, she creates lights, well, for lots of different people, but she, you know, has specifically sold these to us for crafters, because that is what people have asked for. They want it to be directional. You know, they want the length of the light, but they also want it to really have that small beam as well. So make a big difference for the light. And now, sadly, the nights are getting short. The nights are getting longer, sadly. We will be needing more lighting. So this is absolutely perfect. And all you have to do is choose between black and white. So that's the code there, the SKU at the top there, HRN145. That is for the black one. We haven't got a sample of the black one, but it looks exactly the same as this one, except it's black. But it's exactly the same. The black one's always more popular, strangely. I don't know, I guess maybe you don't often have them, but then just depends where you're going to put it, what you want to do with it. But only $49.99. And great gift for somebody, not necessarily just craft, but it's one of those things that you don't often treat yourself to, but make quite a big difference. And it makes a big difference to actually what you can see. It stops your sort of eyes aching if you get headaches, if the light isn't bright enough, or if you have to say to people, can I turn the big light on because I can't see it? They go, no, I don't want the big light on, because it suddenly makes the lounge really bright. But you just want your own light. This is perfect. But also, you know, for people who think coming up with Christmas, oh, I don't know what to buy them, who wouldn't want a light like this? $49.99 for Native Lighting is amazing, because these are exceptionally good quality. Lovely, lovely. Now we had 1K facet fat quarter bundle we didn't manage to get to. Oh, is this... This is from Prism. I love the Prism because it's all the rainbow. So this is 20 fat quarters, only $79.99, which is amazing. So each one, obviously the Free Spirit fabric, we know what beautiful quality is and how soft it is. And there are, yes, I'm just making sure, there are 20. So look at the colourways that we've got here. We start on the bottom, because this is obviously your rainbows. So we've got purples. I'm getting all my words wrong today. Then we move into the blues. Oh, they've got the cabbage one. And the blue checked. And the greens. Now, in the next hour with Jude, she's going to demonstrate us and show us a few projects for some fat quarter books. So bear this one in mind, because very useful for that. Then we've got greens. And then we move into the yellows. So this really is the Cafe Rainbow. And in the first hour, the prisms have been the most popular. I think you like the idea of, you know, create your own Cafe Rainbow, but without it being sort of primary red, orange, yellow. You know, you've got all of his other colourways. So even in the orange ones, he's got pink and green mixed in with it as well. And we've got lovely pinky reds moving all the way through to the top one, which is the deepest red. What a lovely selection. So if you were watching earlier and you saw me show you, you know, I think when you look at it like that, you can really see the colours, can't you? Isn't that just beautiful? Only $79.99, and you get 20 fat quarters, all Free Spirit fabric from the Cave Collective. I absolutely love those. What a beautiful fat quarter pack. Quite would like that. We have got some other little fat quarter packs. Just these are the baby ones. We'll start with the yellowy one. So there's just 4 fat quarters in this little baby one. $6.99. So in here you've got like a lemony floral one, more orangey floral. You've got a yellow gingham and then a greeny floral. All fat quarters. 100%. They are 100% cotton. 45 by 55 centimetres. And there's all the yellows, $6.99. Yellow patchwork 4-piece fat quarter. Next we have the green one, and in this one you get the green floral. You get the sort of the limey grassy green floral, more of a browny green floral, and then at the end you get a lovely green, I'll just turn that over, you can see it better. You get a lovely like peppermint green stripe. Again, £6.99, that works out at £1.74 a fat quarter. Each of the fat quarters measures 45 by 55 centimetres, 100% cotton quilting weight fabric. And then finally is black. I was going to say, I wonder what this one's called. So you've got like a black floral. Then you've got a black and white stripe, very fine, like a ticking stripe. Then you get a black gingham. And then you get, I'll turn that one over, a black and white floral. So that's a lovely sort of greeny monochrome look. All 100% cotton. It works out as £1.74 for a fat quarter. Amazing, great thing to add into your stash. Now books. Where are oh, there they are. Dressmaking techniques. This is the Dressmaking Technique Bible, fully updated and revised. This has been incredibly popular. I mean, firstly, I like the fact that it's ring bound. Makes it so much easier when you're using a technique book, a doing book. You want to have it flat on your table to look through. So you've got everything in this book for dressmaking, getting started, you know, all the tools, what you need, how to, you know, what are the different parts of sewing machines and overlockers. Explains the difference between all the needles, machine needles and sewing needles, so it gets my tick. Sewing patterns, how to take measurements, so all your very basic dressmaking. Then all the different stitches from the hand stitching that you would use in dressmaking, you know, and it's lovely. It goes through things in detail, like the lock stitch, which is something that people sort of mention and you're never really sure what for. So you've got all the different stitches there, tacking, slip tacking, and then we move on to the machine stitches. I mean, it's hard, you know, when we do dressmaking, you can never explain everything. This really goes through it in detail. Then we've got fabric. Now I like this. A lot of people, I often see posts on our Sewing Street Facebook page where they say, I don't know what fabric to use for this. What do you think this is? Should I use crepe de chine for this? Because it doesn't always say, but if you go through this, it goes through in absolute detail of all the different fabrics. That is what crepe de chine is for. Tells you what you would use them for. And things like cutting out. I mean, there's loads of you. It's so good to see more and more people getting into dressmaking and enjoying it. And, you know, this really is the Bible of it. Because, you know, if you make bags or you make quilts, you can dressmake as well. It's a complete transferable skill. It's only sewing, isn't it? But obviously there are different things with dressmaking, different names for things and different techniques and obviously different fabrics. But this tells you all about them. You know, even things like the PVC, what sort of needle should you use? Oh, look, a leather needle. It tells you what the best way and what you would use them for. So when you see all these fabrics, cutting out, now sewing with them, seams. Now this is really important, isn't it? What's a plain seam? What's a French seam? So if you've just got into dressmaking or you know someone who has, what a lovely thing, $14.99 for everything you need to know. Or if you've been dressmaking for a while and then you think, well, I just want to know a little bit more in depth, this is a brilliant book. You know, who knew when they say do a seam, there's all of these seams. And using the right seam for the right job is really important. It makes a massive difference, depending on what sort of seam you want. So I'm still on seams. Pinking. Then we talk about darts, tucks. So then you've got all the techniques, all the dressmaking techniques. Pleats, how to put gathers in, how to put a zip in, invisible zip, a separating zip. I mean, it's lovely. I think every single step has got a computer illustration, so it's really easy to see how to put a trouser zip in. You know, how many people end up throwing away a pair of trousers because the zip's broken? But that tells you how to do it. What are interfacings for? Ooh, you know, what do you use them for? When do you use them? And that explains it. Then you've got all the different techniques. So how to put a waistband in. Different sorts of waistbands, whether you've got a belt one, an elasticated one, a two-piece one, ooh, so many. Hanging loops. Different sorts of hems. So when you think, well, I need to hem a pair of jeans, how do I do it? And what sort of hem should I use? Because different fabrics require different hems. This book's been really popular. We've got less than 30 left. I'm not surprised. It's really good. Really good. There's so many different things. There's a lot of, I like the way it's been put into groups. You know, so now we're on to sleeves. It tells you the different sorts of sleeves and how to put them in. Because it's not the easiest thing if you don't know what you're doing. And it's not always easy to see how to put these different things in, like how to do a pleated sleeve. But it really does explain it to you here. It is like, I mean, it's a little book, but there's a lot in it. Different cuffs, neckbands, even making boned bodice for your evening gowns. So these are really all the techniques. And, you know, this is very in-depth, all the different shirt collars, polar necks, convertible collar, sailor collar, Peter Pan collar. You see what I mean? It's not just one collar, it's got everything. Now we're on to fastenings, buttonholes on sheer fabric, hand buttonholes, machine buttonholes. They've even got bound buttonholes. Those are beautiful. I have done those before and they look amazing. Really worth learning how to do that. Press studs, hooks and eyes, eyelets, how to put pockets in, different sorts of pockets. Even a welt pocket, like the sort of thing you'd put on a waistcoat. But you know, it does cover. You can see it's not just skimming the surface. I've really got all my words wrong today. I keep getting them all mixed up. It's not used to having, it's having a week off, isn't it? Does your head in. Right, embellishment ideas. Now this is about decorating, so top stitching, decorative machine stitching, hand embroidery, shows you all the different hand embroidery stitches you'd use. Applique, beads and beading and adding lace. I mean, really, this is what it says on the tin. It is the Dressmaking Technique Bible. Just checking it was called that. So anyway, what a lovely, lovely book. All in there. Everything you need to know. So please do put that in your basket and check out. It's been very popular this morning. Obviously, a lot of you started dressmaking or got a bit further with it. It's even got the whole glossary in there as well of everything that you need. It's a really, really nice, comprehensive book written by someone who actually really knows what they're talking about as well. Always handy. Always handy. Right. I'm just going to run through the early bird because we do still have a few left. There we are. Back again. So if you weren't with me at 8 o'clock, this was and is our early bird. I'm going to bring them all in. So we have the complete collection of all the plain cotton fabrics that we sell. And there is a fat quarter of each. This really is the ultimate fat quarter mega bundle. And even better than the fact that you get 67 fabrics, all the colours you'll ever need, you save £16.92, which is a bargain. Saving of £16.92. So £99.99 for all 67 fat quarters. But if you want to split it and you want to split the payment over 2 months, 2 equal payments of £49.99, that's interest free. You pay the £49.99 now. We send it out straight away. You haven't got to wait. And then next month we'll bill you for the other half. So it doesn't cost you any more. It's just some people do prefer to split the payments. They just find it more cost effective to spread it over a couple of months. Or it's up to you. Once you go through to the checkout stage, you can choose. But it is only £99.99 for 67 fat quarters. I mean, look at that. £1.49. £1.49 for one fat quarter. And this isn't your cheap rubbish fabrics. This is your 100% cotton Rose and Hubble quilting weight fabric. Look, beautifully soft, beautiful drape and very good quality. This is the plain fabric we use, we sell a lot of the plain fabric in all of these colours. So we don't, we have a lot of repeat purchases. So it's really important to us that we sell you a quality fabric, because it's quite important to you as well. And you wouldn't buy more than once of us if we were selling you plain fabric, because we do sell it in a lot of different kits and bundles and ways. If it wasn't a decent quality, you wouldn't buy it again, and you do. You love it. But if you want all of the colours, you know how when you're making something blue and you're trying to match a plain because you want to just put a binding on the edge of a print fabric, or you want a little bit of board around something, and you haven't got, your local shop maybe doesn't sell all of these colours, or you can't get to the shop, you've got all, just in blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different blues. That's loads, isn't it? Even in red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different reds. That's a wonderful choice. So you might think, well, actually, do you know what? I'm going to use all of it. I'm going to make myself a rainbow quilt. Or you think, no, actually, I'm going to keep this because I'm always wanting different colours. I like embroidering. I want to embroider on different colour backgrounds, but I need to be able to choose. When you think, I need a yellow because I want to make an appliqué sunflower, you don't just use the yellow that you've got, because you've got 3 yellows here. So it's just lovely to have that selection. Now also, all of this fabric we do sell by the half metre. So if you want to keep your bundle intact and you want to always have this, as you use up each one, you can just then order another half metre from us and replace it. And think how lovely that's going to look on your shelves as well. So only £99.99. You are saving £16.92. We are very limited. This is the first time we have ever done such a good offer. So we've done it before where we've offered 1 free fat quarter, or maybe 2, but we've never done it where we save £16.92. So 67 fat quarters is an amazing price. Anyway, we are limited on it, so you do need to put it in your basket and check out. So, oh yes, we did have one other thing that wasn't an early bird, but seemed to be the price of early bird. Now, it actually goes together really well with this fat quarter bundle. As you can see, I'm going to lie it on top. So this is a thread bundle, and this is, so I'm just going to move over it. There we go. Save £10. Now, in here, you get 42 reels, 100 metres of thread on each reel, and it's Gutermann thread, so beautiful quality, and it's 100% polyester, which means it's really, really strong. This is the thread that I use the most often for general sewing, machine sewing, because it is strong. All the colours, it works out as £1.66 per reel, which is really good. But when you look at the fat quarter bundle and you look at the threads, it goes together really well. Now this is £10 off, and it comes in this lovely, so if you're thinking about a gift, it's got magnetic closure. It comes in a really nice box, nice photo, nice bag. And so that doesn't include, when I said it was £1.66 a reel, that didn't include the beautiful presentation display box that comes for free with it, and they all sit in there really nicely. So lovely as a gift for someone you know, or just for yourself. But the two together really well. Anyway, it's £10 off. Bargain, bargain. Really quickly before we go, update on the Moda scrap bags. Weren't really supposed to have them today, but found out that they had arrived in the warehouse, so we got them rushed over you. We have got less than 50 left. So $14.99, you get 40 strips, but 2.5 inch wide, so your design roll strips of Moda fabrics. Now, if that was full price, if they weren't scraps, it would cost $44.99, so $14.99. It's a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get, but you do know that you'll get Moda, and you do know that you'll get 40 2.5 inch strips. And, if you think normally they are 3 times that price, that's an amazing value. Now, whenever we get these in, they are massively popular. They have really flown. We've got less than 50 left. So if you do want one, you need to put it in your basket and check out very, very quickly. Oh, there we go. There they are on the shelf behind me. The 2 of them, anyway. That's what it looks like. I can't believe we've even got 50 left. People have been buying multiples of them. And they come in that lovely little brown bag. And we're lucky. We thought, well, we weren't absolutely sure when they were going to come in. But they arrived in the warehouse, so we rushed them up because we didn't want you to miss out before they'd gone. grab them while you can because we don't get them in very often. Only 45 left. $14.99, and there isn't a limit to how many you buy. So coming up after the break, we've got Jude back with us, who is going to be concentrating and talking about all things fat quarters. We've got a few fat quarter books and a few fat quarter projects, but she's going to be showing you how to make this beautiful patchwork bag from fat quarters. So if you've bought my fat quarter bundle here, then you are going to love this next hour. So I'll see you here in just a few minutes' time.
Keep up to date with what's on Sewing Street and Yarn Lane, as well as all the latest news and special offers by signing up to our email newsletters. For Sewing Street, head on over to www.sewingstreet.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and you're done. It's exactly the same for Yarn Lane. Head on over to www.yarnlane.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and that's it. You are now subscribed to both Sewing Street's and Yarn Lane's email newsletters, so you'll never miss out on the latest news and special offers ever again.
Hello everyone, I'm Delphine Brooks. It's so great to be here and part of the Sewing Street family. I'm local, I'm only down the road in Warwickshire. I started sewing many years ago when I was very young, doing lots of art and painting, and eventually I went into textiles and I really enjoyed doing the two together. I then had a bit of a break. Something you don't know about me maybe is that I spent many years in the Royal Air Force and eventually in the police as well. And then I went full circle and I've come back to my happy place of sewing, and which I really enjoy. My best sewing tip is measure twice and cut once. I have chipped up a couple of times by not measuring properly, and I do always regret it, so now I always measure twice, cut once. Anyway, I really hope to be with you again soon, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Sewing Street have our very own app. You can now watch and shop from anywhere. Simply download the app from your app store onto your smartphone or tablet, then log in or create an account, and you're done. You can watch us live from anywhere, browse all our recently played items and pre-orders so you never miss out on any show deals, and message the studio to say hello at any time. And remember, you can check out as many times as you want and only pay one P&P all day.
We know that shopping online can be a confusing and sometimes daunting task, and sometimes all you want to do is talk to a human being. Well, our family-run customer service team are on call 24/7. They're full of friendly, warm-hearted individuals, all trained to make your shopping experience as easy and as enjoyable as possible. And not only will they take your order, they will also help and guide you on your shopping journey, so you never miss out.
Are you a fan of Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? Why not join our growing Facebook fans pages? Just search Sewing Street Fans and Yarn Lane TV Fans on Facebook and click Join Group. It's that simple. Never miss out on the latest news and updates from our presenters and guest designers, special offers, and plenty of chat with your fellow fans. Share photos of your makes, ask for advice, interact with your favourite guests and presenters, and be a part of the ever-growing sewing and yarn community. See you there!
Keep up to date with what's on Sewing Street and Yarn Lane, as well as all the latest news and special offers by signing up to our email newsletters. For Sewing Street, head on over to www.sewingstreet.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and you're done. It's exactly the same for Yarn Lane. Head on over to www.yarnlane.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and that's it. You are now subscribed to both Sewing Street's and Yarn Lane's email newsletters, so you'll never miss out on the latest news and special offers ever again.
And welcome back to Sewing Street. This is the last hour today before we go to Yarn Lane, and this is all about fat quarters. Now, we spent a lot of today talking about pre-cuts and fat quarters, so a whole hour dedicated what can we make with fat quarters. So we've got this brilliant book from our lovely presenter Wendy Gardner, Fun with Fat Quarters. So let's have a little look. It's always good because, you know, we buy these fat quarters because we like them, and then we think, what are we going to make with them now? Well, there are 15 projects in here to give you some ideas of what to use, stash busting, or if you've bought a fat quarter pack and you think, what shall I do with it? Here are all the ideas. What is a fat quarter? Very important. Tells you all about that. All the materials, tools, and the techniques that are used within this book are explained at the beginning. Because fat quarters, although they're smaller pieces of fabric, fat quarters basically is they cut 1/2 metre fabric from selvage to selvage, and then they cut that piece in half. So it's always 1/2 metre long, but the width of it will depend on the width of the fabric. But they're normally sort of 20 by 22 inches. But remember, if you get an American fat quarter, it's different because that's a yard cut in half. So it won't be 20 inches, will be 18 because their yard is 36 inches. So if it's an American fat quarter, it'll be like 18 by 22. And if it's an English one, it'll be 20 by 22. Fat quarter fact. So all the information in here, adding a zip, creating buttons, button loops, using everything you need, which is great because, you know, there is so much you can do with a fat quarter. It's important that you can see how it all works. So then you move on to the projects. So what can we make? Flowers. I love that, the double Suffolk puff. So they're really good for using to decorate things. I mean, obviously these uses a lot less than a fat quarter, but they're pretty. The lingerie, the drawstring bag, and I'm pretty sure, yes, all the templates, thought they were the back, are in here to create this. So you've got the lingerie bag and the shoe bag. Perfect for fat quarters. A lovely little reversible bag. That's really pretty, isn't it? So you've got 2 fat quarters, one for the outside and one for the inside. And we're often saying, aren't we, you know, if you've got this fabric, wouldn't it be lovely you could use that one for the outer, one for the lining? Because quite often when you buy a fat quarter pack, there's always sort of a range of different colours and prints. So this one is ideal for that. Little cosmetic bag. This is one that Jude's made earlier. I don't know, where have they gone? Oh, they're behind you. We'll show you that one in a minute. So, so Jude made... Yeah, I wasn't fast enough for that. This is a little cosmetic bag. Oh, really, that's so pretty. I like that. Paul's telling me jokes again. I said, it's behind you. And he said, no, it's not. You are a bit of a dad joke person, to be fair, Paul, aren't you? A bit. They're always the best ones, though, aren't they? Doorstop, another project that she's made, and we'll talk through that with her later about how to make that. I love this one because it's got all these different embellishments on it. So pretty. It's got like pom-poms on and buttons. Oh, look, there it is. There's the one that Jude made from the book. And we have that fat quarter bundle for you as well. So you can make exactly the same. So that's the doorstop. So just wait and I will show you the fat quarters that we've used to make that later. A little clutch bag. 1 fat quarter for the bag and 1 fat quarter for the lining. It's just nice to have all these ideas, isn't it? Oh, I like the little pinny. It's got a little ruffle on it and a heart as well. Diamond star mat, I think for £10.99. This is extremely good value. Nice cake. Because it's got some lovely ideas. Oh, I like the placemat for outdoor dining, and you can put the cutlery in the little holders. Not perfect for picnics. That's really interesting, isn't it? That's where you can really use your technique. So you can learn how to do tucks and stitch them, but also it's a really good way to showcase all the fancy stitches you get on your embroidery machine and zips. Then we have the disappearing 9 patch bag. which again uses loads of fat quarters. And then the drafted screwdriver, I love that one. So if you'd bought like the K fat quarter pack, that's a really good way of showcasing your beautiful fat quarters, isn't it? Oh, hang on, I think I missed that one. The pillow with piping. The baby play mat. Oh, I like that. That's really pretty, isn't it? Because it's got all these little applique motifs within it. And then a pinafore. I think that might be a child's pinafore though, which is a shame really, because I quite like that. But that's a child's pinafore. But it is fat quarters. I don't think it would fit me, to be honest. So the one that Jude is going to be demonstrating is this bag here. There we go. That's the picture of the one that Jude has made. And it's called the Disappearing 9-patch bag. And she's going to be showing us how to make that. So we do have 2 other books by Wendy. The Take 2 Fat Quarter Gifts, which is this one here. And Take 2 Fat Quarter Home, which is that one there. Now, they are all available on the website. Or if you click on Watch Live, then you can go below that and you can see that all the information that you need there. But I'm just going to go through the fat quarters first. So the one that the one that Jude made the bag from is this fat quarter bundle here. So this is a mode of fat quarter bundle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really can't count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there are 9. I can't count this one. So you get a lovely taupe spotty one from the Winky Pop range. Oh, so it all comes it's designed around a beach from Australia that's called Winky Pop. Oh, what a great name for a beach. I want to go to Winky Pop Beach. And then we've got a taupe stripy one. And I like that. It's kind of a citrine colour. And then we have, I guess this is the sandy colour. Maybe that's, I wonder what they have on Winky Pop Beach. And a stripy one. Lovely colours though, aren't they? I love the neutral with this sort of citrine colour as well. Beautiful print with coral. Another taupey print. So that is that fat quarter bundle. 9 pieces. 9 fat quarters for £33.70. That's gorgeous. Now you don't need 9 fat quarters for the bag, so you will have plenty left over. But it is a beautiful selection of fabrics. This limey citrine colour is really, really popular at the moment. You see so many things in it. Dresses and trousers and skirts, and it's just beautiful. So to make a bag from that is lovely. £33.70. The Winky Pop. I love that name. I wonder where Winky Pop Beach is exactly. It's in Victoria, apparently. We'll get Kat to have a look. If you've been to Winky Pop Beach, can you let me know? It's a great name. Right. This one. So the one that Jude is going to be showing us how to make the bag with is this beautiful, bright Alison Glass fat quarter bundle. And it's rainbows, isn't it? So you've got red. Now, I love this fabric because you feel like you want to stitch on it. Because when you look at it, it has all these outlines that you could embroider on, and it has like running stitches in and cross stitches on them and seeding stitch. So all of the fabrics are from this range. You get red, then you have pink. There are 2 different print fabrics. You get this one that has all the outlines. So again, it's almost like illustrations or things that you would applique. Orange. And then a really lovely deep ochre mustard yellow. Then, I've got to go in the order. Then we get a bright green. And then we get one that's like cross stitch in green. It's like samplers. I love the colours. When Alison Glass brings out a new collection every year, and the colours are always fantastic. Look at those. Then we get like an emerald green, blue. And then finally, you get a nice grey, which actually just goes with all of them. So £30.99 for 9 Alison glass fat quarters, and they are beautiful. I mean, the colours are lovely. I like the fact they all have a print on them, but you can use them like instead of a plain fabrics. They work really well with patchwork because they have that, because there is a print and a pattern on them, they have that lovely feel to them. So that's that one. Now, this is the fat quarter bundle that Jude made the storage cube in, which we'll be talking about in a minute. So there are 4 fat quarters in this bundle. There's the storage cube. This is the Wildflower Farm fat quarter bundle, which is from the Wildflower Farm collection. So you've got this lovely blue check with ladybirds. Then you get the same green check with ladybirds. So this is real sort of country home, perfect for your kitchen doorstop. Then lovely red and white spot, but it's nice because they look almost like potato printed because it's not all quite coloured in. And then a really pretty wildflower floral fabric. And then we've got this navy blue fat quarter pack. This is Riley Blake. Ooh. So we've got beautiful, I like this one. Should we have a look at this one? Lovely floral one. Big, big floral. So this is from the Riley Blake collection. It's nice when you have these, the designer fabrics. They are so soft. I don't know what they do, but it's very, very soft. Then you've got a lovely navy and white print. And then like a cornflower print. And finally, just a plain, neutral sort of taupey colour. So you can use any of these fat quarter bundles to make the bag, or any of the other projects from the books, but any of these you can make the bag with. And finally, this is from, what's this one from? Is this Riley Blake? It's called Ochre. So let's start there. We've got the really floral ochre fabric. It's got these lovely sort of pops of fuchsia and pink on it. Then you get a print ochre. It's like sort of a beach, makes you feel like beach or gravel. That's pretty, isn't it? Then you've got a plain ochre and a pale pink, which picks up the sort of the pinky colours in that. And then you have a cream at the end. So that's the ochre bundle. There's five for $14.99. So that's a really lovely selection. So from all the fat quarter books we've got and the projects that Jude's going to show us how to do, this is just a few fat quarter bundles to give you some inspiration and ideas of what you can do as well. So also fillings and waddings that you will need to create these projects with. So the normal, the polystyrene pellets, these are perfect because these are recycled. These are used for filling door stops with, or anything you want to weight down. There's a kilo, which is enough to give you a really good weighty doorstop. And these are recycled. So you could use other things for them, but these pellets are quite good because they're very fine. They sit really nicely, particularly if you're putting other things into doors, you know, if you're making different shapes of door stops. But they mould nicely. Okay. We've got the polyester craft wadding, which you will need to make the bag with. $4.99. Now we've also got this extra heavyweight interfacing. Now it makes you think of, it's like buckram. You know that stuff, if you don't buy curtain heading tape, or you want to make your own, if you're doing special heading, so like you're doing a goblet heading or something, and then you have to buy buckram to put in. It feels like that. It's super heavyweight. I'm going to undo it because you can see it better. But it's really, really stiff. Now, Jude used this in the doorstop because it's cube, and used it on each piece, and it really holds it up. So this is a metre. It's 30 centimetres wide, extra heavy sewing interlining, but it could be like an interfacing, so it's not iron-on at all. But for things where you want to have a really solid side to something, this is perfect. And it's a whole metre, but it's just 30 centimetres wide, but ideal for a cube doorstop. And it comes all rolled up like this. But it's one of those products that's not easy to find. But when you want to, you know, really give some structure to something, you know, say you were doing something like making a notebook cover and you didn't want a soft one, you wanted a really solid one, this is ideal for that. So it is, if you think of like curtain heading tape, it's that sort of width. I mean, it's obviously used a lot in dressmaking as well, and particularly costume making where you want cuffs and collars and things that are really stiff. But very good for lots of home sewing projects as well. Yeah. We've just had a message to say from April, have the Moda scrap bag sold out? And yeah, I'm really sorry, they have. We did think that they would, and they did. Sorry about that. But they just go because they are fantastic. But you know, we get them in as often as we possibly can, so we will try. Sometimes if you phone the call centre, ask them if you can get put on the wish list. They will then let you know when they're back in next. So they just all went in the last break, unfortunately. Anyway, let's move on to patchwork bags. Welcome back, Jude.
Hello.
So you're making the 9-patch.
Disappearing 9-patch
The
bag.
disappearing 9. So why is it called the
I
disappearing
don't know.
9-patch?
I was just going to ask you if you knew. No
No,
idea.
I don't know actually. We'll find that out. Kat, why is it called the disappearing 9-patch bag? It probably is. It's probably just the name of, I don't know.
Maybe
the
because you
9-patch.
cut them up.
Yeah, because they disappear. So,
Anyway.
which bundle did you use? Have you got, where is the bag? It's behind me.
It's
So this is the bag that you made. Oh, look, it's on the picture, don't you?
Yeah.
Show it. That's the one that you did with that gorgeous, I love that fabric. The ochre fabric.
They go nicely, don't they,
The
together?
Winky Pop. Great
Winky
name.
Pop.
I love that name. But you're using the Alison Glass
Yes.
bundle to make this one.
Nice and bright.
Looks completely different, doesn't it?
Yeah, completely.
Completely. So where do we start?
Right, so this is what one half will look like when it's complete.
Right, so that's like the front of your bag.
Yes. So I've just done that so it's a little bit quicker. So what you need to do, all the instructions and measurements and everything, at least this one has all the instructions so you don't have to worry. And it does say that you only need 3 fat quarters, but within this bundle there's 9 and I've just took advantage and used them all.
Yeah, why
really.
not? So, I mean, use whatever you've got. You know, if you've got a fat quarter bundle and you want to add some other colours
Exactly.
in, it's up to you.
And then, which way do I do it? We'll go this way.
So you cut 9 squares.
9 squares. So I've got 2 of each colour in the bundle, so 18 altogether. And then what you do is you just sew them in strips of 3. So there's 1 strip there, 1 strip there,
Right.
1 strip
Yeah.
there. And it doesn't matter. And I suppose these fabrics have a direction because they've got a print on. So you can sew them the right way around if you want, or it doesn't really matter because when they're cut up, you won't really notice that much anyways. So you go ahead and then sew it all together so it's like one big block of 9.
Yes.
So all you need to do, it is easier to press them as you go as well, and then you get nice neat
Right,
edges.
okay.
And then all you need to do is match the 2 seams up at each side so you get a nice
Yes.
cross when you sew it all together. And because they're all the same size, they're easy to match up as well.
Yeah. Because you've cut all the same size to start with.
Exactly. And they are, how big does it say? I can't even see it now.
Yeah, 6 inches square.
6 inches, yeah, 15 centimetres. Yes. And just do a nice straight stitch down. There we are, there's my scissors. And I suppose you don't have to make the back and the front the same. I did on that bag, but they don't have to be. You could do the squares like in a different combination.
Yeah, that's true. So you
get-
could do it whichever order you want to.
Yeah. So this way, and then you just do the same again. Just making sure to match those seams.
This would be, I mean, ideal for beginners to patchworking, wouldn't it?
Oh, completely, yeah. I think it looks a bit daunting because it looks like you've had to sew.
It does actually look
lots
quite
of-
complicated.
Lots of the little squares and everything here. But you'll see in a minute,
You'll
honestly.
see in a minute
it's-
how close.
Yeah, so much easier.
So if you haven't tried patchwork before, if you want to sort of start learning about sort of simple piecing, this is a really good one to start with.
Yeah, definitely.
And because it only needs 3 fat quarters, it's not using a lot of fabric. So
Yeah.
you know, you can buy one of these fat quarter bundles and you make a couple of them.
You'll be on your way.
You'll be on your way, you'll have loads of bags.
Yeah. And to be fair, even I had loads of fabric left after doing this
Okay.
one project with the bags, so you could make way more, or you could make multiple bags, or you could make a quilt or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just give it a nice press. With your dinky iron.
So you just press all the seams.
Just press them nicely, and then you get a nice neat edge. And as you can see, it just looks a lot nicer if you've took a little bit of time to.
Well, I guess because you're going to be cutting it as well, so it makes it a bit easier if you've actually
Exactly.
pressed it as well.
There we are. So a nice big square.
Lovely. So you can leave it like that, or
To be fair, yeah, if you couldn't be bothered, if you needed
Yeah.
a really quick bag,
you just leave it like that.
leave it like that. And to be fair, it would look nice enough, but here we go. Oh, I need my
This
iron
is where
again.
it disappears.
Maybe that's why it's called that. No.
No, there's probably a name for a particular pattern.
So, fold it in half, and to make sure you get the half, I kind of forget about these edges just in case you've done a little bit of a wonky stitch.
Right. Okay. So
I
you
match
the seat. Okay.
These two, so the orange to the orange on this side, and then on this one the grey to the grey, just so that you make sure you're getting, and just to get a nice neat cut. I mean, you could draw a line if you wanted to, or pin it or whatever, but I think it's easier to just do this. And then cut along that edge you've just ironed. Make sure you've got nice sharp scissors. There we are. And then you do the exact same thing. So now you've got 2. Do the
Okay.
exact same thing again with the 2 pieces you've just done.
Right.
The other way. So you'll have 4 squares at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
So again, just match up there and there, and give it a quick press. So have your iron handy for this project.
Yeah. Well, I guess you get a neater edge, don't you, by
Yeah.
pressing it?
Sometimes you can't be bothered, can you? But it does make it a lot better.
Well, I guess it's going to be more accurate, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
For the time it takes, it's probably worth it.
Yeah, I know. Don't be lazy. There we are.
So is it easy to understand from the book?
Completely, yeah.
Okay.
I struggle with like reading something. It takes me a while to like process it, because I usually just read over it first and then start making. But honestly, so easy.
Okay.
Really, really
That's
easy,
really
yeah.
good to know, because, well, also, if it's going to be for beginners, you think, right, I'd like to make a bag. You know,
Yeah.
I've made one that's just got plain fabric on the front and back,
Yeah.
but I would want to move on to the next step, or I don't want to go as far as making a whole quilt.
Yeah,
But also, I just want to make something quick.
exactly. I honestly don't think it took me long at all. Maybe like an hour or something like that.
Wow.
It's
that's really
mainly cutting all the squares and things out, but I think I laid them on top of each other and did it with my rotary cutter, and you get it nice and neat as well. And then at least you know they're pretty much all the same size
Yeah.
instead of trolleying on. So if you try and position it to what it was before we cut it all out, be like this.
Okay.
I mean, in the book it says to turn them a certain way so you get that pattern that it shows. But again, you could turn it any way you'd like.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I think you turn the right one this way and
Top
the
right, bottom left.
bottom left.
Wise.
Is this right?
It says top right and bottom left around by 1 turn clockwise.
Yeah.
And then repeat for the 2 left-hand pieces.
So it was like this and then like this. Again, I don't think it really matters to be fair. I've done it a little bit different on this one that I've already made.
Yeah, okay, so you just turn them round.
Yeah, just turn them round. So leave 2 the same and turn 2. And again, you can already see kind of what it's going to be like once it's sewn. So then you just flip it on top of each other and do a nice straight stitch down there. And because you've already sewn your seams down, it's a lot.
You know it's right.
It's a lot
it's
nicer.
clever because it does look like you've cut out little squares, which you haven't.
I know, exactly.
You
So when
better-
you look at it, you think, oh God, I'm going to be there forever, cutting,
Yeah.
cutting tiny little bits. Because I've done a few projects like that, and I think you put yourself off because they look a lot more.
Well, I think that's right.
daunting
Well, I
than
think
what
the
they
9
are.
patch is just what you did to start with, but by turning them, it
Yeah.
disappears. I presume that's it.
I will do this one, and then the same again for the bottom 2. Nice and neatly lined up. And again, I'm only using a quarter inch seam allowance, nothing fancy. So you get a nice and neat edge. So now you've got your 2 bits and bobs.
Lovely.
You can give them a quick press again just to make sure. Ooh, so definitely have your iron handy.
Well, it does. I mean, you will find it easier to get things to match
Yeah.
if you press.
Oh, definitely.
I know it's like, oh, I don't really want to, but it does make quite a difference.
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
it?
definitely. There we go.
So you can learn both bag making and quilting all together. can't you?
Exactly.
I quite like this fabric because it's a real sort of it's got a lot of stitching elements on it, so it's good for
It
a
does.
sewer's bag. a
And
stitching
with
bag.
this fabric, like you said, it'd be really nice if you hand embroidered over
Yeah,
it and
you
things like
easily
that.
could, because there's a lot of elements on it which are almost like embroidery transfers,
Yeah,
and they would be really nice.
when you
could
get the little kits and things.
So once you've made it, you could embroider the little bits.
And when all you need to do really, when you
Mm-hmm.
match in these 2 sections up,
Yeah.
there we go, is just match the middle. Don't worry about the
Right.
others because it doesn't really matter too much, but the middle
Okay.
is the most important. And then again, just do a nice straight stitch. And I mean, you could pin it if you wanted to, but if you're a bit more confident, just go for it. And because it's only small, it's not a lot of fabric to hold. It's
No, I
it's
see what
not
you mean.
too bad. Although the needles, just thread it up.
So the fat quarter bundle that Jude is using at the moment is the one that's in the graphic, and that is this one here. Let me just move my books out of the way. There it is. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're Alison Glass Sun Prints fat quarter pack, £30.99. They are beautiful. So you've got some of the fabrics where you've got like almost like embroidered printed on, because you've got cross stitch and seeding and running stitch and back stitch, and they're all from the Alison Glass Sun Prints. Some of them look like embroidery transfers, and then this one is like a cross stitch fabric. So it's like a cross stitch sampler. All the colours of the rainbow and grey, and that's the one that Jude is using at the moment if you want a super bright embroidery sewing themed bag. And don't forget, all the instructions are in the book, which is there, £10.99. So all the instructions for this and all the other projects as well are in that book. But you need to remember to put it in your basket and check out in order to get it. I mean, £10.99, and you get 15 projects in that book. Less than £1 a project, bargain. And it's all for fat quarters. So some use just one fat quarter, some use more than one fat quarter, but it's a brilliant way of, buying a fat quarter pack, what are you going to do with it? And also then mixing and matching with fabric in your own stash and using that as well. So you've sewn all chopped squares together.
So it looks a lot more complicated now than what
It does.
it did.
It looks like you have matched up loads of seams there.
I'm so clever.
I know, it's so clever. It must have taken you ages.
I know.
And then you
So
do the
there we
same
are.
for the back of the bag.
Same for the back of the bag, although I've done a little bit of a different combination of fabric, so just you get slightly different when you turn it
but the
different
same
ways.
concept.
Same concept, exactly the same. And then what you need to do is cut your wad in, and I've just cut it to exactly the same size, as you can see, as the panel.
Yes.
And you put this behind. And then all you need to do, it does say this in the book, but again, if you weren't as confident, or if you were really confident in quilting, you could do some little swirls, you could do whatever you want, quilt it however you want. But I'm just going to stitch in the ditch along each line to make it nice and padded. So I will pin it.
Yeah, so you don't have to add wadding to this, but it does give it a nice squishy feel, doesn't it? It looks a bit more professional.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think for a bag, obviously this is your shopping bag. It protects everything more.
Yeah, and a lot more durable as well, really. I think it'll last a bit longer and things like that.
And also, it's a really good, you've now learned cutting and then piecing, so we're now going to learn quilting.
Exactly, it is really good for like
It's quite good. I
beginner
always think
skills
as well,
and things, isn't it?
when
Yeah.
you know people, when they say to you, oh, will you teach me how to? It's nice to have something like this. You can say, right, come round then,
Yeah.
and we'll learn. You can make your own bag.
Yep.
It's a real sense of achievement then, isn't it?
So all you need to do now is stitch in the ditch. So stitch in between each of the panels. And again, you don't have to do it like this, but this is what I did on the other one. My threads come out again.
Oh, has it come unthreaded?
Yeah. Name me specs on. There we are. And at least you've got the guide on the foot, so it's quite nice to just go and just do a nice straight.
So did you just quilt along the lines?
I did, yeah.
The seam lines, okay.
Yep. So at least you've got something to follow. Get your pins out. Does take a little bit of time, but it's not hard at all. It's absolutely fine to do.
Well, it gives it a bit of texture as well, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
3D. Quite like it. Well, and also for beginners to quilting, it's quite nice to quilt along the lines, because then you've got something to follow, haven't you?
Exactly, exactly. So you just do this the whole way around. Super simple. It doesn't take too long. You've just got to remember which ones you've done and which ones you haven't.
Okay. Yeah, you have sewn through all of them, haven't you? Well, that's easy, isn't it? 'Cause you just keep going through all the ones that you
Super
can see.
easy, yeah. And I mean, you could do it by hand if you wanted to do like a nice fancy stitch or anything like that.
Yeah, it's just quite a nice thing to practice on, but you could, yes, if you wanted to do it by hand. Or you could quilt, I quite like shadow quilting, where you quilt either side of the seams.
Yeah, so then it gives it even more.
Or you could just quilt diagonally across it, whatever you fancy.
Anything,
I mean, that's
yeah.
the great thing about these projects is I always think use them as a guide.
A guide. There's no wrong or right way to do
Use
any
them
of
as
it,
sort of
yeah.
an idea for you to then move on beyond
Exactly.
that.
Where are we at? One more and we're done. Or two more even. There we go. So all you want to do now is just take the rest of your pins out. And then chop off any loose threads, because there's some in the middle that you have to finish.
Oh, where you've sort of, because it doesn't go all the way through. I see what you mean.
So already you can see that it's kind of
Yeah, it's all
puffing
looking
up
nice
and
and puffy.
things. And you could even, if you wanted to make it extra puffy, you could put 2 or 3 layers. I think your machine should manage it really. Right. And then for the lining, with the fat quarters, there isn't enough to do both sides of the lining with the same fabric. So with that one, I've used 2 different fabrics. And then with this one, I've just done it as a big patchwork.
Oh, okay. And did she say that in the book to join for the lining?
No.
So you just...
It does say to use just one, but I suppose you could join bits of the same fabric together, or...
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yes.
It's not hard to do, and to be fair, once you know how to do all of this kind of patchwork, joining 2 extra bits together will be a...
Yes, because what she
Won't
said
be a
is 2
problem.
fat quarters for the lining or a fabric remnant.
Yeah,
So you would, so you would use...
just use whatever you've got left.
So there's enough. So if you had 3 fat quarters for the bag and 2 for the lining, then, you know, for the 5 fat quarter pack, you've got enough, haven't you?
Yep, exactly.
Perfect.
So I've
Or
just
join them
used-
together for a patchwork line. I like that.
Exactly.
More
just a
fun.
little. There we go. I suppose it could be reversible that way.
Indeed. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, quite nice. I think it makes it more fun.
Exactly. And for the handles, and it doesn't specify how long you need your handles either.
Right.
So it just depends whether you want a shoulder bag, little handbag,
Oh, okay.
and whatever. I mean, you could add a small one and a larger one if you wanted to. And I'll see how long I've done mine. This was just the length of the fat quarter. I've done this.
Okay.
So this is, where are we at? Wrong side.
Yeah, so I guess, because she says hers are 12.5 inches, but I guess you just put the tape measure over you
Yeah,
and see how long you want
you
it.
could just do it however you wanted. So these ones are 22. So this
I always
would
think it
be
depends what coat you're wearing.
more.
Because you know when you're wearing your big winter coat, you need the handles to be longer, otherwise you can't get
Exactly.
over. But in the summer, you don't need them that long.
Exactly. You're fine.
So summer or winter handles.
Yeah, and I've just done mine about 2.25 inches wide and 22 long. And just to make these super, super simple, and because I've quilted quite a lot, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines on it, they're nice and sturdy as well.
Right, okay.
Not flimsy, it's
So
not
that
gonna...
gives them a bit more strength.
And these have wadding in as well.
Okay.
So to make these, I just cut 1 wide strip, so it'd be about 5 inches wide and 22 long, and just a little bit of wadding, just about the size of half of it. And then what you do is just fold in half, and again you can pin if you want, and just then sew a straight stitch all down the folded edge, just to secure the 2 bits together. So I'll just do that.
Okay.
again, just repeat the exact same thing again, just to get the quilted effect.
Right.
So I've just left maybe 2 millimetres away from the thing, so you get about 1/4 inch and 2 millimetres or a millimetre.
Right, okay, just to sort of...
Just so you're not doing too many lines, but it's completely up to you. Just
Yeah, but it does give it that extra strength, doesn't it?
it does, yeah, 100%.
Well, and it also, I think it complements quite nice because it's, you know, you've
I
quilted
think
the
it does,
handles
yeah.
as well.
Nice design as well. Then you get design elements all over the bag, don't you?
Yeah.
Here we go. And then at this point, I have folded, because it's just a little bit wider. So if I put the other one on top, it's just maybe an inch or so. I've just folded this in, and I made it a little bit bigger just so that I can catch enough of the
Right, okay.
enough
Yeah,
of
that
the
makes
fabric.
sense. Yeah.
I mean, you could do the strap where you go and you turn it inside out if you wanted to, flip it, and then quilt it over the top. But it's a little bit fiddly to begin with. But once you've sewn your first line,
Then it's, yeah.
you're fine. And once you've made one, you can kind of put it on top to measure
Right,
if they're going to be
okay.
about the same size. So, and then exactly the same process again, just sew a nice straight line. And you can just keep folding it as you go if you like.
So don't forget, if you want to make lots and lots of fat quarter projects, don't forget the early bird today, 67. 67 fat quarters, one of every colour of the rainbow and more besides. That's our special early bird special. Look at that. 100% cotton, rainbow colours. And you save £16.92. So £99.99, but that's the most amazing price. So if you love this fat quarter book and you want some loads of fabric for it, that's perfect. This book is brilliant because, you know, you're going to learn sewing cutting with using a rotary cutter. You're going to learn sewing in a straight line. You're going to learn basic, this is just for this bag, basic piecing. You're going to learn quilting. We're just learning how to make handles. So this is a really good beginner's book. Or, you know what it's like, you've got a lot of fabric in your stash, you've been tempted by a fat quarter bundle, you bought another one and you think, oh, what am I going to make with it now? And in this book, and Wendy has 2 other books as well, there is so much inspiration for you. It's fantastic. I love this one. I think it's really pretty. I like the fact that it's just so easy because I couldn't work out how it happened. And you just join together 9 squares and cut them up.
So easy. So easy to do. Just run out of bobbin. Nice and quick.
Okay, so let me just... I talked about the other 2 books by Wendy. So let's have a look at Fat Quarter Gifts. And this is called Take 2. So it's used 2 fat quarters. So let's go through. Anyway, you've got all of the general sort of materials and tools and techniques that you need to create the projects, just like I showed you in the other book. But these are all the techniques that are used in many of the projects. So they're all sort of kept at the beginning. But they are shown really clearly with nice close-up photographs, which is lovely. Zips and stuff. And then we move into the projects. I love them because all of them use 2 fat quarters. So you've got a 2-tone tote. A cosmetic pouch. And I like the fact that you've got diagrams used to show how it works, but computer illustrated, so they're really easy to understand. But then lots of close-up photography, which I think really, really helps. Love the makeup kit roll, but you know, you could use that for colouring pencils or crochet hooks instead, should you want to. Love the summer shorts. Unfortunately, they're for children. It's quite a fancy pair of those. Nice, aren't they? But you'd need more fat quarters, and then you'd be fine, but they're really pretty, aren't they? Scissor keeper, again, 2 fat quarters. You know, And it's anything really, isn't it? It's from the sort of the very inexpensive fat quarters or some plain fat quarters up to the sort of the designer level ones, or you can mix and match them, like the Sleep Easy neck pillow. An eye mask. Look at this, gifts for Christmas, gifts for your friends, loads of inspiration, like the Flying Geese lunch bag, dress. Now, is this the one that had the bottle bag that I quite liked in it? Oh, Christmas crackers. Look at that. Get your Christmas cracker stitching started early. Little zip purse, even a teddy bear. And a stocking as well. So that is the Take 2 fat quarters. And then finally, we've got the Take 2 fat quarters, but this one's for the home. Oh, that's where I was having a look through them. I couldn't remember which one. So again, you've got all the techniques and instructions you need, but no, let's get through to the projects because that's what we really want to see. So we've got a craft storage, craft caddy, we've got an apron, bottle bag, and that one's quite cool because it fits 2 bottles in it. Cafetiere cozy. Anyway, this is only $9.99, so to just give you, you know, a quick flick through of the sort of projects that you can make: oven glove, wall organiser, pin cushion. I love the coiled fabric bowl. That's cool. iPad stand. Looks like a dragon, doesn't it? Because it's got stuffed prairie points and it's like a dinosaur. So that's that. Slippers. So much stuff in this one. That's Take 2 fat quarters. So let's quickly go back to Jude. So we've done your handles.
All done.
Right.
So you just want to lay them on top of each other, make sure they're the same length, and then you know you're all right. You won't have a wonky arm. And then lay them on top. You can lay them on the lining fabric, or you can lay them on the outer fabric. It doesn't
You've got
matter.
a minute left.
And then, oh my gosh, I'll just show you what to do.
Yeah,
then.
just talk us through that.
Just lay it on there. You want to pin it down and just make sure that they're the same width apart from the edges. And then, like anything with a lining, wait, what do I do? Yeah, lay like your 2 pieces. You want to stitch around the outer, just leaving the top. Do the same with the lining, and then just bag it out.
Perfect.
As you would a normal bag.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you've really made
You're
it
welcome.
look very easy and very achievable and brilliant for
Oh,
a beginner.
goody.
So we love it. So when are you back with us?
Middle of August, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not long then.
No, not long at
Not
all.
long. Oh, well, thank you so much. It's been lovely working
Thank
with you
you,
today.
you too.
And we will see you soon. So please don't forget to check out your baskets. Well done to anyone who managed to get the Moda scrap bags, but they have now gone. Put anything that's in your basket, please check out. We are about to head over to Yarn Lane, but so don't go anywhere because you're going to love this next show. But tomorrow on Sewing Street, we have at 8 o'clock Miss It, Miss Out fabric. John Scott is on, and he is going to be with Susie at 9 o'clock doing the Riley Blake Joy in the Journey. 10 o'clock he's going back to kits again. 11 o'clock Hydrangea Dreamy Quilt. I love hydrangeas, like to see that one. And 12 o'clock it's all about sewing machines. So thank you so much for joining me today on Sewing Street. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for all the messages that you've sent in. We've got Yarn Lane on next. We have got launch of new patterns, new wool with the designer too. So I will see you back here in just a few minutes time with Sarah Hatton.